Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast. I'm Ethan Simi, and today I'm joined by four wonderful guests. First up is Bryan Sudfield.
Who are you? Do you have a gun? You here to kill me?
Bryan, I just want to commend you for bringing back the quote. It has been years, it feels like. Episodes and episodes and episodes, and you have reestablished what it means to be a guest on this show. Thank you. Next up is Sophia Ciminello.
Hi. What precisely is the nature of my game? Tonight you'll find out.
Wow. Really, really good and scary. And our other guest is Danny Jarabek.
I don't have a quote. I was trying to, the thing is, I also don't want to use a quote because I don't want to give anything away where I would go.
Yeah.
So
Sure. Mr. I'm prepared, and then is the only one not prepared. Sure. And then we have a not a surprise to the listeners or you at home, but a surprise to us and some of the guests here on this show. A surprise fifth guest joining us. Des, hi. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Ethan. I'm preying on your downfall.
Cool. Great. Feeling good going into this draft.
not today, a quote, just a sentiment.
Just an emotion, writing that all the way. Today, we are drafting movies from 2017 in a regular style mega draft. I feel like 5 people qualifies as a mega draft, so I'm going to call it a mega draft. But we are doing a regular style draft for the year 2017. I give a little quick backstory to fill the listeners in, pull the veil kind of back a little bit here, because I think this is part of the origin story of this draft in particular that makes it so interesting. We set up this draft, the 2017 draft. I reached out to Danny, Sophia, and Bryan, all 3 of you, asked you to come on to this draft, started a group chat so we could establish what time we were recording and whatever happened. And it turns out Bryan and I were the only people in this group chat with everybody's numbers. Danny, Sophia, you did not have each other's numbers. And Bryan convinced me to play a little bit of a game, a little bit of a mental game, if you will, over the last couple of weeks going into this draft. And I thought, what the hell? We might as well, because this is a game, of course, as Danny just mentioned, of sentiment and a game of mental troubles. So we left the group chat a mystery, and the notes had mentioned redacted for all of our bullet points here as we go through all of these notes. Danny and Sophia did not know the other person was going to be here on the draft. And then Des is joining us because just a few nights ago, we recorded an episode that is already out at the time that this pod comes out, but we just recorded it, and we were chatting after the draft, and you basically said, like, I want to come back on. And I was like, we're recording it 2 nights if you want to jump on. And you said yes. And I did not notify Bryan, Sophia, or Danny. You were a surprise 5th mega drafter. I feel great about what I've constructed here and the lore that has been behind this episode. So that's probably my my biggest achievement as to what I've done with this pod and this draft so far. Bryan, hello. Hi, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me. That was diabolical behavior on your part, but I'm very happy to be here potting with all of you. Okay,
you did this.
But you didn't tell me or any of us that there was going to be an additional guest until about 7 hours ago.
It's true.
So diabolical behavior on your part, but nonetheless, very happy to be here with all of you. Some of you, emphasize on some of you are my favorite people to talk to, and one of you is kind of an enemy. I'm not going to say who it is, but leave it up to yourselves to figure it out. But
the mystery call out.
I'm going to continue the mystery of it all. But
I do like the mystery.
A lot of lore coming into this.
But you know what? Regardless of that, all jokes aside, I'm very happy to be here with all of you tonight, podcasting about this particular year. I've never been on a year draft, so this is very exciting for me. And there's going to be a lot of heartbreak tonight. I could feel it. I could feel it in my bones.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. Look, if I can't win on a draft just with strategy alone, I have to start getting innovative, and I have to play outside of the recording studio. So I figured now's the time. Des, last time you were on the podcast was for the movie Sidekicks draft, which as of time of recording right now does not exist. It is not into the world. So don't reveal maybe too much about how that draft went, but we did just record a few nights ago and in real time. That was a moment, and listeners will probably know at this point in time, I think really a big moment in my personal discovery here on this show. We drafted with Eric Anderson. Sophia, you know Eric quite well. And I just feel, I don't know, I feel taken aback a little bit. And I don't know if I'm ready to draft again, but here we are. And here you are. Welcome back. It's great to see you.
Thank you. I'm always happy to be here. I feel like it does raise my blood pressure a little bit. But I do have a good time every single time. The Sidekicks pod was a fantastic time. And I said to Ethan, get me on another pod with brother Danny. What's your problem? And he was
did.
like,
you actually said that, though. That was like the real thing that happened.
I was like, why haven't you put me with brother Danny again?
Yeah.
And he was like, Tuesday? And I was like, I'll make myself free.
It's amazing the power that I hold over people's lives. It feels really good. Not quite the same power here in the draft circumstances. Brother Danny, you are back. Welcome to the Movie Draft Podcast once again. Prepared as always, I assume.
As always, yeah.
Right.
Don't let any other narrative skew you. There's a lot of misinformation out there these days.
Right. Okay. Sure, we'll just lay with that. I will say, when this episode comes out, last week we will have released the sophomore feature films collaborative draft. You were on that draft with Ben, myself, and Bobby, who is a good friend of the draft. Of course, not out yet in our recording time. We're doing a lot of pre-records and things because summer is happening and all of the things. I felt pretty good about how that draft went. And so I don't know. I hope we bring some of the same energy tonight. You know, I feel like we had a pretty good draft in general.
Yeah. I mean, it was a blast. A lot of fun. I'm so excited to be here. Very happy to be back. Very happy to see Des again. Friends that I've made through this show. So props to you, Ethan. Shout out to you. You're building bridges here, despite the fact that you're also trying to tear us down at the same time.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping the same with Sophia. I feel like I've vicariously become friends with Sophia by listening to so many podcasts that she's on. And I'm very delighted to be now in the recording studio with her as well.
Oh,
wow. That's so sweet.
sweet.
I do feel like this is setting up a little bit of the Eric situation that we encountered a couple weeks ago, where everybody's like, Ethan, you're so great. And then it's just like, by the time we get to the end, there's like, Ethan, you hate women and you don't like movies.
Once the let's draft timestamp crosses, once that's over. Like we're anti-Ethan for sure. But,
I'm not gonna lie, it's like if I'm there, I have concocted some new rumor about Ethan.
Right. Yes.
I can be spread around.
100%. Yeah. The things I'm policing, the things that I'm concerned with, that changes from week to week. Well, I'm glad to know that we're still in the friendship phase right now because we haven't started drafting quite yet. Sophia, welcome back to the Movie Draft Podcast. It's so good to have you. I think the last time you were on was for the first round of the top 25 movies of the 21st century. A list that we got some feedback.
Sparked some controversy.
A little controversy.
It's something else, really. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one. And then the Letterboxd one that just came out. That one too, which everyone should listen to. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I always have, I think, a great time here. It's always so fun, no matter what style of draft it is. Bryan and Ethan, I've recorded with both of you, but Des and Danny, we haven't recorded together yet. So this will be fun. Mm-hmm. I think the vibe already is great. So I'm curious how that will shift once we get into the actual drafting portion.
I'm slowly realizing the more episodes we record and the more kind of guests that we have introduced to one another is like we not everybody has drafted together, which I kind of forget. And so like I think this is the first time our group right here have drafted together. And of course, like bits and pieces in every episode. Sophia, you mentioned the Letterboxd draft, which we were kind of just talking about off mic before we started recording, and your legendary pick of The Godfather and Twilight. I think we haven't heard any social reactions. The pod has been out for like 12 hours. But I'm sure people will attest to that being one of the great teams put together here on the Movie Draft Podcast.
I tried.
But we are not drafting The Godfather. We are not drafting Twilight. We are drafting movies from the year 2017. I got to start with my question that I always start with. Bryan, I'll start with you. 2017. Who were you in 2017? What did movies mean to you back then?
2017, I was going into my second year of college. I was in film school, so this was coming off the La La Land Moonlight year, and into 2017, everybody was obviously not shutting up about La La Land, rightfully so, because it was the film of the moment at that point and everything. But yeah, I was still figuring out my roots as a film fan and the filmmakers that I like and the genres that I really vibe with and everything. I will say that this was the year, not to plug my content and everything, this was the year where I discovered that coming of age is my favorite genre of all time. So that's kind of a very pivotal part of my life for me. But yeah, 2017, looking at all these films, very interesting array of films, some highs, some very, very lows. I'm very interested to see how this draft goes tonight. But yeah, 2017, it's crazy to think that was almost a decade ago. It feels surreal that time has gone quickly. As the title of my pod says, life moves pretty fast. But again, not trying to plug my own content, but it just happened to happen this time around.
That's a golf clap right there for you, Bryan. That was really seamless, really natural, impressive work. Yeah,
I try my best, but no. To answer your question, 2017 was quite an interesting year for film. It was quite an interesting year of my life, and I'm excited to kind of just break down all these movies with you today. Like, I've potted with each of you before, and I kind of have a grasp of your film taste respectively, but I have no idea the direction each of you are going to go tonight, although I have a hint for some of you. I don't know. It could be one gigantic mystery and everything. But yeah, 2017, quite an interesting year, to say the least.
Yeah, I think, I share the same sentiment. We'll get into it and see what everybody's strategy is when it does come to this draft. Des, 2017, who were you? What did movies mean to you back then?
I was in undergrad. I was just hanging out with my friends. We were always at the local AMC. Shout out to AMC Market Fair.
That's right by me.
Exactly.
That's my new AMC.
that was such a good one. Everyone would hop in my little Honda Civic, and I would hightail it over to the theater, and we would be there all the time. That movie theater has great memories. I have such fond memories at the movie theater during college, and this was especially a big year.
Nice. Okay, cool. I love that. That is great. As you are all saying who you were in 2017, I'm trying to figure out how old I was so I don't pull what Danny did one time. So I've got my age calculator up on the other browser here.
Des, I'm like actively thinking about it. I'm like, I gotta get this right this time.
I'm like thinking of that meme where it's like, how old are you? I'm 4. You're the youngest person ever. Like, that's what I think Danny is right now.
It's great. Great podcast lore for those that may be new to the pod. I recommend going and seeking out the episodes with Danny. Speaking of Danny, 2017, who were you? How old were you specifically? And walk us through what that meant to you in terms of movies that year.
Well, famously on the 2016 pod, that is mathematically 1 year prior, I completely butchered how old I was at that point in time. It was the start of many downfalls for me on that episode. There were a lot of key issues that I ran into, that I self-generated obstacles, we'll call them. And I was flustered. Ethan had me fully rattled at the beginning of that episode. So we're going to leave that in the past.
Sure.
2017, I was a freshman in undergrad, and that is verifiably correct. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
Pretty similar vibes to what I ended up correctly describing from the 2016 episode. I guess I'm just working chronologically here with you on these year draft Ethans, but just really kind of finding my way into appreciating film. 2017 is a weird year for me because there's a lot that like very much made it into my all-time favorites, and then just a steep drop off after that. And so I'm like, there's gonna be a threshold where I'm gonna start to feel a little uncomfortable on this one.
Interesting. Yeah, you do bring up an interesting point, because we did all technically prep for a 24 movie draft here, and then Des joined us, which makes for a 30 movie draft. So things are going to get deep, I have a feeling. definitely true. Sophia, 2017, who were you back then? What did movies mean to you?
Yeah, movies really meant everything to me in 2017 because I was right out of undergrad and I was pretty much seeing everything because I had Movie Pass. This was a year of Movie Pass, RIP. And there are certain movies that either I will draft today or I know some of you will definitely take today that I saw so many times just because I could. Like just because I had this little magical card that was obviously, a mistake for that company, but not a mistake for me as I got to go see all of these movies. But it was, I think, just a really cool year too, because looking at the list, I agree with you, Danny. For me, there are some of these movies that are so important to me, huge, just touchstones for me and my taste as a moviegoer. And then it does drop off a little bit. But what's really cool, I think, is we have some exciting voices where I remember when I saw the movies of these directors in that year, I thought, oh, they're going to be around for a while. Like these feel like definitive new voices, and they were working in genres and styles that felt really meaningful to them. And I'll just say it right off the top here. My favorite movie ever made is a 2017 movie. So I need to have it. I really need to have it. The stakes are high.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling that all of us are very, very passionate about at least one movie, and how that ends up dividing amongst us is going to be interesting.
I think so.
Yeah, totally agree. I think something we didn't really touch on our group chat, because of course we try to save most of this for the podcast, and I didn't want to egg on too much of this. I think this draft in particular maybe will go down as one of the top three, if not like the single most important first pick in a movie draft that we have done, because this is, this is a contentious point that we talk about a lot on pretty much every single draft of like, does the draft order matter, especially if it's collaborative or auction? In a regular draft, I think it matters much more because it is tried and true. You get what you pick. But in 2017, we all have a great passion for specific films. And I really am worried that a lot of friendships that are being built up right now in the preamble are going to come crashing down here in about 7 minutes when we do say let's draft. We've done 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2019 here on this pod. Those are the kind of the 2010s that we've done here. Danny, you mentioned I'm just kind of bringing you along the ride for most of them, which I don't see that ending anytime soon. So you'll have to come back for the rest. But we are now doing 2017. I was 23 in 2017, and I was just going into my sophomore year of college. I don't know. I didn't really watch movies back then. I do have one fond memory of going and watching a movie, let's see, in college. And when did this movie come out? That will really determine. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I don't really know my personal lore, because I remember going to see The Wolf of Wall Street with a bunch of friends, I guess, right out of high school. And I have a very hyper specific memory that we were all in Portland and we went down to this downtown Regal theater that is kind of really hokey and not really well kept. And one of the friends brought a bag of couscous, and I thought, well, that's interesting. And he just must have been hungry. And so that's my Wolf of Wall Street connection. That's not tied to 2017, whatever. So I guess we'll talk about other movies here on this draft. Okay. I feel like I'm not prepared. I feel like you are all probably much more prepared than I. Strategy going into this draft. Did anybody rewatch anything? Anybody watch anything new for the first time from 2017?
I actually did.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's on like 48-hour notice of this pod.
That's impressive.
That is
quick. Yeah,
quick.
I watched a few actually.
A few.
I
just DM'd you the notes like 18 hours ago. That's impressive.
That's true. When you're about the movie life, you'll do what it takes.
And you're not going to say what these movies are, of course.
Absolutely not, Ethan.
Cool. No, I'm just double checking. Just wanted to be sure that, we, on the off chance that eventually one day you do enlighten me early, I'd love to know. I don't want to miss an opportunity.
Ethan, if it's going to be, it sure won't be this year. Okay. Not this year. This year is tight. Can't, I'm not pulling. Nope.
Tight year for sure. Anybody else watch anything new? No? Okay.
I did watch a new one, but I don't want to reveal. I do have a strategy point I can reveal, but it won't be that one.
Okay. Will you reveal the other strategy point?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a new strategy for me, so I'm just gonna put it out there. I need Phantom Thread. This movie changed my life.
This is a bold strategy play right now.
It's the reason I podcast. And the first ever time I was on the movie draft, Ethan unknowingly took it from me. And now that you know how I feel about it, I think it's one that I need this time.
Remember also, I'm recalling that
what
Ethan
draft was
made
that?
a
I'm trying to
deal.
figure out what that was.
Ethan made a deal to put Phantom Thread in the top half of the best of the century, and I'm not sure that he followed through on that.
I didn't make a specific deal. I tried my hardest.
Okay.
He really did. The language was blurry. It was like, I will do my best. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it was his best effort, but it was discussed when he said something along the lines of like rip to Phantom Thread coming in.
I give a shout out. I poured one out for our boy, the Woodcocks. We just gotta keep them in our memories. They didn't make the list, unfortunately. This
is a new strategy for me. We're gonna see if it works, but it's what I wanted to do. Just put my passion plea out there.
So you think by revealing this, you'll unearth a state of compassion from all of us and basically just say like, well, she said she wanted it, so we best give it to her.
I think so. And I think I'll also say that I don't care what else I get on my board.
Oh, now so that's a dangerous precedent
later on.
Yeah. Oh,
I think it's safe for me to reveal that one of the movies I did watch that's new is Phantom Thread. For this podcast.
Look at this.
Okay.
You'll reveal for Sophia, not for me.
Thought it was good. Thought it was really good. Fantastic, even.
Would you say great, amazing?
I might say it's one of the best pictures of the year.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
Wow.
Insane setup we have going on here.
Yeah. This is madness. This is wild. I'm a little taken aback, Sophia, by your strategy. I don't know what to make of it. And I hope the best for you. And I simultaneously hope I get the first round pick so I can have Phantom Thread. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to take that.
When did I take it from you? Because I don't
the Best Picture losers drafts.
Oh, it did lose Best Picture, didn't it? That's tough. That's as PTA films generally have a
wound up the loser in that situation.
Wow. Okay. That makes me feel pretty good that I did that. Yeah, you got to keep the energy and the spirit alive sometimes. Okay. So maybe we'll revisit that. Okay. Bryan, Danny, anything strategy wise you guys feel ready to reveal? We've got two very direct and distinct pleas for sympathy.
Bryan and I have a conversation on the back end that I think we'll keep
on
between
the back end.
On the
fuck
back
is
end.
That?
Making backdoor deals? What is his big brother?
Apparently,
I'm actively watching it, so I'm in the Big Brother headspace. Hashtag BB27.
I actually am too, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I'm watching Love Island right now, and none of this resembles Love Island, so that's too bad. You wish you had a veto? Somebody on social media did make the mention of it's time to spice up the drafts a little bit and bring a potential veto. Yeah, spice up the regulars, bring in some abilities potentially. You think that could be beneficial here?
I was thinking about that the other day, actually. I was like, what if, hear me out, we had something where you could swap out somebody's pick for something else? Whoa.
Oh,
crazy.
Wow.
I would.
Well, that's interesting.
Shooting on this podcast if anyone did that to me, but I think it'd be funny if it happened to somebody else.
Yeah.
Would you?
A veto. Yeah.
Sort of like a veto. Would you swap it out with one of your own movies, or could you swap it out with two other people? So, like, if I had this power,
I would swap out your Phantom Thread to give to Soph. So, like, that's
So you choose a movie to give to somebody else from somebody's team.
Yes.
Wow.
That's fucking diabolical. I will never employ that here on the draft.
That's
Holy
crazy.
shit.
Never happening.
I want to play Dez's movie draft podcast now.
Right?
Yeah.
It sounds diabolical.
Potential movie draft after dark. You know, that's where this is gonna be. The things could get really devious after dark one day, potentially.
Oh my God.
Enough talk about strategy. I think it's all been laid out very plainly. I know exactly the movies that I want as well. So Sophia, Des, I feel like all of us are kind of in a similar boat here. There are some categories that I believe to be significantly weaker than others for 2017, which is an interesting problem to have considering the year that it was. In theory, great quote unquote movie year. I think we got some of the true modern day greats in this year. And then, we kind of talked about this. We have, other movies that exist that will inevitably have to be talked about here as we go deeper and deeper into the draft. But we should draft. We should draft because whoever's going to get the first pick is really in charge. It's really a lot of power. And I hope that it's me. But regardless, we have to draft movies in 2017 in order for them to be eligible for this draft. We're going to be going by Letterboxd, the release dates that are on Letterboxd. If you go on Letterboxd, they have a released tab that you can notice and figure out when a movie was released. It has to at least see a limited theatrical release in the United States in the year 2017. I will just say there's a couple movies on my list that apply to that maybe are not to the common eye. And I think that's something important to keep in mind as we generally do here on the year drafts. Things get a little bit dicey in terms of release dates. We do have 6 categories that we're going to be drafting from. They are our usual categories: drama, comedy, action, horror, Oscar nom, box office of $100 million plus domestically, and wild card. And I will clarify for Dez's sake, just in case, action horror is one category. You don't get to pick both.
The way I knew you were going to say that, always calling me out. But what's really crazy is I forgot about box office. So I'm going to do a little quick research.
Better hop on that Box Office Mojo. No free ads, but Box Office Mojo, we use you a lot on this pod.
It's the way to go. It's the best. It's the most reliable.
It is great. Come on out, support the pod. Okay. Any last calls for sympathy? Any last dying words that need to be out there before I say let's draft and everybody goes their separate ways to their separate corners?
The gloves are about to come off.
Could. Yeah.
You did what you could. Yeah. I think as long as you've done what you could, that's what matters here. Okay. Well, let's draft. Let's commence the 2017 movie draft here on the Movie Draft Podcast. I do have the spinner.
My stomach hurts.
I know.
Yeah.
I feel sick.
I'm nervous. I mean, we obviously all of us want the first pick. Am I
This
correct
is a
in
big
assuming
spin.
that? Yeah, this is a big
Peacock.
one. We are, again, no free ads, but we do have an ad here in the left-hand corner. Okay, no funny business with the names, just proper names. I'm just going to hit whatever I have to. Oh, click to spin. Okay, Ben usually does this, so I'm a little out of my depth here. We're going to click to spin and just fucking pray and wow.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
I do want to note the person that was studiously the most silent during these strategy conversations.
Mm.
Something worth
He had
noting.
a plan.
He had a plan.
Ooh.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
take that.
That's rather lame.
I'll take that.
Sophia, how are you feeling right now?
As
Going this
sick
deep.
as Reynolds Woodcock with the mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, there's always a chance to get sicker, as we know.
Yeah.
It might happen.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No.
Arguably the
that's-
worst spot, but that's okay. I'll take it.
But you're going to take my movie from me.
Undetermined. I mean, if it even
Okay.
makes it to me,
All the men
Okay.
going first is kind of crazy.
It is.
Oh.
It's not right. I think it's rigged.
Ethan's using
Okay.
misogynisticwheelofnames.com.
Yeah, totally.
Men on this pod, just know if there's one movie taken from me that I don't get to have,
Okay.
I get
It's
the
over.
I get the turn on this pod every time.
Are you happy about that? Like, do you feel at home
Not
with the
today.
turn?
Not today.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's too bad.
The turn
didn't-
scares me because I rarely have almost
You have to
one
do
decision
strategy
made at a
quickly,
time, let
yeah.
alone two.
Yeah. You do have that. Okay, so for listeners that are not watching this pod, Bryan will be picking first. Danny is going to be drafting second. I am drafting third. Des is going to be drafting fourth, and Sophia drafting fifth. Yeah, I did in fact use the misogynistic extension of wheelofnames.com that just identifies a man's name and then picks those first. So I'm glad that you noticed. Des. It really means a lot. Okay, I'm not feeling great about my third round pick. That's the sandwich sucks. I would much rather be in Sophia's shoes, but that's okay.
We'll
All
see.
right. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Bryan, why don't you kick us off on the 2017 movie draft?
I am so beyond happy that I got first because similar to Sophia, there's only one film that I want. I literally don't give a fuck about anything else that's on my list. I see that now, and then we'll obviously see what happens as this podcast progresses. But I'm going to go with my favorite film of 2017, one of my all-time favorite films, Call Me By Your Name. This is literally a life-changing film for me in ways that I simply cannot describe. When I saw this for the first time, I was completely transfixed. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I walked out of it saying that was one of the best films I think I maybe have ever seen. And upon every single rewatch, it has grown and grown and grown for me. And a few years ago, it hit me in a much more personal way that I simply did not anticipate. The imagery is some of the most striking that I've ever seen. Timothée Chalamet's performance is an all-timer. The soundtrack contains some of my favorite drops ever put to screen. I think the Love My Way Neil drop is one of the best Neil drops in any film ever. And My King, Sufjan Stevens, all over that soundtrack is just icing on the cake for me. And maybe my favorite ending of all time is in this film as well. So, yeah, there's a lot to say about Call Me By Your Name. I'm sure all of you have an equal level of love and appreciation for it. I didn't snoop and do any research on any of your letterboxes beforehand, but I adore this film to pieces. It also introduced me to Luca Guadagnino, who has since become one of my favorite filmmakers working today. And yeah, I adore this film with every fiber of my being. And shout out to Michael Stuhlbarg as one of the greatest on-screen dads ever. His monologue just breaks my heart every single time. Just thinking about it is literally going to make me fall to the ground and sob like a baby. So I'm not going to say any more, but this is my first pick, and I am going to put it in Oscar nom.
Okay. Very wise. I also was going to place it in Oscar nom if I got the chance to draft this film. I have a couple thoughts on this that I find really interesting. I watched this movie recently for the first time for the Timothée Chalamet collaborative draft that we did a handful of months ago, and agree. I think it is an incredible feature film. There's two things that I find really interesting. The first is that it premiered at Sundance in January of 2017. I just can't imagine now like going to Sundance and being like, I saw Call Me By Your Name at Sundance. That's kind of a crazy thing to say. Doesn't see a limited theatrical release in the US until October of 2017. And the reason I mention that is because Sony Pictures Classics ended up picking up this movie out of Sundance, which I find a really fascinating acquisition for that studio. They knew what they had. And I think those two things combined, Sundance, Sony Pictures Classics, is like the ultimate kind of, I guess, I don't know the right thing to like relate it to, but it is like being knighted twice, where it's like you're the real thing. And I think that's really neat. Great movie. I was just listening to Visions of Gideon this morning, so I was gearing up.
Great soundtrack.
Banger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sony Pictures Classics, they work their magic every award season. They're a great distributor to have pick up your film.
They are. Okay. So Call Me By Your Name goes draft pick number one in Oscar nom. Danny, you've got a pick.
I do. I am very grateful for this second pick because I may be breaking some hearts here.
Oh.
Huh.
Not Sophia, I promise.
Okay. Interesting.
But this is really based on both my love for the movie and the fact that I think this is really the major strength of this category. I think it's a weak category for this year. So I'm going to go with comedy because I need to knock this out. I don't think there's a ton here to pull from. And I am going to go with Greta Gerwig's Lady Bird.
Okay.
Great pick.
Pretty much a perfect movie.
Yeah.
And you're going in comedy for this.
Yep. I'm going in comedy.
Fascinating.
This is where I wanted to go because there just wasn't a ton that I wanted to pull from in comedy for this year. Paired with Lady Bird's just one of my favorite movies ever. I've rewatched it so many times. I think it's a just beautiful, beautiful story. And, I think just put Greta Gerwig into the stratosphere of filmmakers working today. So Saoirse Ronan as well. Not that she wasn't working prior to that, but this really kind of elevated her standing in the industry as well. So this movie did so much. I loved it. I've watched it so many times. I had to read the screenplay for a class in undergrad. So like I have picked apart this movie more times than I can count. I love it very dearly and very glad to have it on my team.
Nice.
Okay. I love it. I love this. I think not the last time we're going to be talking about A24, if I had to guess. Really interesting back half of 2017 for A24. I know we're just talking about Sony Pictures Classics, but their run at the end of the year during the award season, quote unquote, is really, really interesting. Lady Bird, yeah, one of the greats. What do you have to say? 2 Timothée Chalamet movies drafted in a row.
I was just about to say that.
Year.
Interesting.
It is
Timmy back to back.
Lady Bird's a perfect directorial debut. It is like she knows exactly where to put the camera in that movie.
That the scene, that behind the scenes video of her like directing Saoirse Ronan and Lucas Hedges around that like flower field is just like the most wholesome thing. Like I could just watch that over and over and over again.
Okay, that's a really good pick. Brings this to me.
Oh my god,
a lot of possible things I could draft here. Board's pretty wide open. There are good movies here. Got a lot of good stuff on the board. I do just want to commend Sophia. I just want to commend your pleas, your pleas for sympathy, and in hearing those, I actually want to stand in solidarity with you, and I actually do want to make my own plea to the listeners to recognize this pick that I'm about to make as a functioning action of a rehabilitation of my image of as the villain here on this episode and this draft in general. I'm not that person. I'm not that kind of a guy. I don't adhere to the slander, the rumors that are traveling the interwebs about me being such a mean person. So I will not be drafting Phantom Thread in the hopes that it falls to you. Okay, Sophia, this is I have seen you, I have heard you, I recognize, and I want you to have the best possible experience here on the draft. I also fear that if I take it, you might not ever come back. So yeah.
If you choose the movie that I desperately want, I will have to choose Phantom Thread.
Okay, so you just loaded a fucking chamber with one bullet, and you're like, let's spin this motherfucker. Hopefully you get it right. That's what you've done.
Yes.
What the movie that you want? Let's discuss. As you can see, I'm very open to conversation right now. I know this is not a collaborative draft.
Just go for it. Let's work together on this.
You're talking about rehabilitating your image, so I'm just making sure that whatever movie you're picking is not a movie that came out that year that, is, socially and, really for the people.
I assume she said socially and I had a film immediately.
Let's think.
Okay. Okay.
So Ethan got the third pick, but he really, in a way,
really got
has
the sixth pick, like ultimately. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I've knocked myself down a couple rungs right now. Okay. In 2017, with all of this being said, I am going to be drafting in. Do I want it in drama?
Des and I are both like,
You guys are safe. Don't worry. Okay, you guys are safe. I can almost like assure you.
I'll believe
the
it
movie
when I
you're
see it.
referring to, then I would be just.
If he says the title I'm thinking of, I'm gonna
me
scream.
too. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream into the microphone.
What does that mean? What title is that? What do you guys think I'm referring to?
Just say it.
Well, just say your movie and then I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just see. Let's see what the people have to
This has the
say.
potential to be a diabolical error.
You don't think I've learned from my past? You think I've learned from my history?
I would love for him to set up a rehabilitation image pick and then do what I want him to do.
And then stumble into it.
And then makes the worst
stumble.
pick
I won't.
possible.
I won't do such a thing. In Oscar nom, I'm gonna be drafting Blade Runner 2049.
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay,
On my list
everybody's
too.
satisfied. I'm happy that I didn't bungle and do what Danny wanted me to do. I gave Sophia the movie she wanted. I gave Des the movie they wanted. I'm a man of the people. I rehabilitated my image.
For now.
Thanks.
Yeah, for now. Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, taking an Oscar nom. I think better than the original Blade Runner. I know that's kind of a hot take. I don't know if that take is kind of coming around these days. I think one of Ryan Gosling's best performances, and arguably probably will go down as one of his best, considering his current trajectory of being in Star Wars with Sean Levy in a couple of years. Unfortunate downturn for our boy. But Blade Runner 2049 is, to me, the absolute pinnacle of like a sci-fi drama. It is exactly what you need and what you want. And I think inherently sets up Denis to make Dune, to make the Dune trilogies and to understand things on that level. So that's what I'm taking.
My favorite Villeneuve film, actually. I think it's brilliant.
That's awesome.
It's definitely neck and neck up there for me. I think, funny lore, this I want to say was like the first movie I logged on Letterboxd. I think like when I got Letterboxd, it was like right in my Blade Runner 2049 era because I was so enamored by the movie. I just like, it was also like during a fall break, I think, for undergrad. And I just like kept going. Like I had nothing to do. So I just kept going to the theater and like rewatching it.
I love the story of how Harrison Ford punched Ryan Gosling in the face.
Oh.
Wow. It sounds tough for both of them.
Hey, listen, if there's anyone that could punch me in the face, I'd be happy if it's Harrison Ford.
Yeah, this is true.
For me, it'd be Roger Deakins, whose work on
Fair
the film
enough.
is beautiful. I'd let him punch me in the face.
Yeah. I mean,
he's too sweet. He wouldn't do it.
He is too sweet. I know.
Yeah, shot by Deakins, scored by Hans Zimmer, makes almost $300 million at the box office. Like, I think Dune has the Denis touch, but it's like one of the last great massively scoped sci-fis that makes a ton of money at the box office. I think if you're leaving Dune out of the conversation. All right. We move forward. Des, you have a pick.
Yes.
Did I leave your movie to you?
Yeah, you sure did.
Great.
I'm glad that, we could have all the movies that we desired for our first choice, and that we weren't manhandled into any choices or threatened for any reason.
Very collaborative first round as a whole.
Exactly. My first choice is going to be an Oscar nom, and it is going to be Get Out. Yeah, that's socially aware movie. I have such fond memories of this movie specifically at the AMC Market Fair. And, going with my friends in college to go see it and just being absolutely blown away. And I maintain the sentiment that movie got the general public back into looking into movies and understanding movies, and wanting to learn more about it, and being interested in, like those hidden messages in different scenes. And I think that Jordan Peele's, move into horror, obviously made waves because he is comedy legend. So that is just one of the most fantastic movies that have honestly spawned sons. Get Out has sons, and they're illegitimate sons because they don't do it the way that Get Out does. There's a fine line between what Jordan Peele has done and then tiptoeing into Black trauma porn, and a lot of people tend to swing that way because that's what they're getting from Jordan's movies, but that's not what it's about. And he does it so masterfully that I don't think anyone else can even touch him when it comes to something like that. So that's my pick.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I do just want to give you a shout out for you being on the pod a couple of weeks ago and picking a Get Out related character. We'll just say that for those that have not listened to the show yet, and then picking Get Out in this draft. Sticking your guns.
Yes.
Get Out's a great pick too, because when I was talking at the beginning and saying how there were directors this year where you could feel like they were a definitive new voice, it was Jordan Peele and Greta Gerwig. Like those two for me just felt like it's like they just came out fully formed and had something, like, especially I think in the case of Jordan Peele with Get Out, had something new that they were ready to say, and that has spawned a dozen copycats.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good pick. I'm glad that you can have it. Sophia, we have found our way to you to have 2 picks in a row. Have you had enough time to identify a movie that you're passionate enough about that you would like to draft?
I wonder what she's going to take here.
I've been waiting since 2017. No, I'm grateful and also a little ashamed of my behavior of what brought me here, but also not. So my first pick will be the great Phantom Thread. Can you imagine if I didn't take it first and just, I don't know.
Actually, would have been really cool of you.
Yeah.
You duped all of us.
I'm going to take it an Oscar nom. I know that category is, we are all kind of stretching into that, but that's where I'm going to take this one. Even though I debated comedy because I laugh a lot during this movie. I would say it's romantic comedy adjacent for me. Specifically everything that Cyril does. But yeah, this movie it's just so important to me. I think, I grew up loving Gothic romance and also the films of Paul Thomas Anderson. And this is my favorite film of his. And when I saw it for the first time, it actually inspired me to start writing about films in general and getting into film criticism and podcasting. Yeah. And so that's why it's really important to me and why I'm so stubborn and annoying about it. I have podcasted with Bryan. We talked about Phantom Thread a little bit.
We did.
Yeah, you can listen to me on honestly dozens of podcasts about this movie, just going deep through the plot. So I'm really happy to have it. Then, okay, for my second pick, I have a clarifying question.
Okay.
How do we feel about a thriller as an action or horror pick?
Oh, this is interesting.
Like action, horror, thriller.
Yeah, generally I tend to lean. I usually lean yes. Oh, interesting.
I can take it in drama, but I'm just like later on. I'll do something else anyway. We'll switch it up.
You're obviously referring to a specific film.
Yes.
Yeah. It makes me nervous how aligned we generally are on films that you're talking about a movie that I would like. So
it might be.
Thriller.
It's possible.
It would have never gotten to you, Ethan, because if I'm thinking of the same movie, I wanted it as my second one.
I think I know what it is.
I have no idea what direction you're going.
Thriller. Okay, wait. Are you looking on the Letterboxd genres or are you going IMDb?
I would say I can look on IMDb just to get a little point of clarification here.
Okay.
Because on Letterboxd it's technically drama, crime, thriller.
Oh.
So
Maybe not.
Interesting.
Oh,
It might not be what we're thinking.
yep.
We might not be thinking of the same one.
You're talking about
definitely-
Jigsaw, right? That's probably what you're in reference to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm referring
Very thrilling
to.
film.
I'm gonna do Phantom Thread and then Jigsaw.
It's the Godfather Twilight all over again.
Twilight. Right, yeah.
The Rain.
Not too much on Saw.
Yeah, I know. Sorry,
do
I'm
love
sorry,
the Saw
Des. I had to
movies,
do it.
honestly.
It was self-deprecation. It's
okay.
allowed.
I think what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna go over to the box office category.
Oh.
And I'm going to take a movie that ticked over 100 million. It made more worldwide or international. Could also be, I think, in a number of categories, but I'm going to bank on the Nolan people to come through for me, and I'm going to take Dunkirk.
Wow. Nicely done.
Yeah, well played.
I think that's a huge vote getter.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie. I think I saw this at the BFI IMAX, and it was a really beautiful, I think, just theatrical experience. And I enjoy actually that we don't have, I think this is sometimes a feature and a bug of Nolan's movies, but here, like, we don't really have fully formed characters. And for me, because of that, I was able to see, my grandfather who was in World War II and who was a pilot. I could see his experience kind of on, the Tom Hardy character, for instance. So I think it's a really beautiful film and a moving war drama and epic. So I'm going to take it in box office.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. I think Dunkirk is not my favorite Nolan, but I do think it is like a pretty substantially underrated feature in terms of what he accomplishes, both from like a technical and a narrative aspect. I think it's really important to his filmography. I also like Tom Hardy is good, and I wish Tom Hardy could go back to that and stop making movies for Netflix like Havoc, where
whatever he's doing now,
he just fucking shouts that he's a cop for 2 hours. Okay, nice, the double dagger. Wow. Okay, Des, back to you.
Back to me. I'm gonna be going horror action, the one category.
The single category, right?
Single category.
Okay.
And I did just confirm via Google that this is horror. I don't know why I didn't think it was for a second. I remembered the entire movie in a split second. And I was like, oh my God. Did you hear that? Split? No, I'm not going to choose that movie. But I'm going to choose The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. An action horror.
Yeah. Emphasis on the horror.
I think you can say horror for this one, yeah.
Yeah, the most horrific eating of spaghetti I've ever seen in my
Oh my
God.
We're literally going from two different sides of Barry Keoghan, from Dunkirk to what he does in Sacred Deer.
Wow, another double actor draft.
Double.
Holy cow.
I'm pretty sure my Letterboxd review for Dunkirk, spoilers, is thank God what happened to him that happens to him in that movie after seeing him in Killing of a Sacred Deer. Like, he got what he deserved in Dunkirk after what he did in Killing of a Sacred Deer.
This movie is super dark and super intense, and I always love to mention, as we just mentioned a couple of weeks ago here in regards to The Master, I think this is on the Mount Rushmore of sad hand jobs in cinema for sure, from Nicole Kidman in the car. I think is really important. I watched The Lobster and then I watched The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and those were like my two introductions to Yorgos. And frankly, I think those are like the two, if nobody's seen Yorgos, like those are the two to watch, because they are, I think, fundamentally like extra depraved versus like what he's doing currently. And feature really impressive performances. I would argue like Colin Farrell in this movie lights out. Sonny Suljic also in this movie. Shout out mid-90s, A24 film. Hasn't really made anything ever, but he's in this one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of Yorgos's most depraved, completely opposite of his, most lighthearted movie, Dogtooth. Check that out if you want a family film. But yeah, no, something about Killing of a Sacred Deer, I just love like it's so tense, but also so it feels like the characters also don't feel like it's anything major, but it is like so major, like, hey, your lives are literally on the line. So I just feel like my nervous system and my feelings are just going haywire, like every time that I watch that movie. Also, I am the biggest Colin Farrell fan. I would be so sad if I didn't have this because I love that man.
Have you seen the interview clip of him with the cat? It's the greatest thing. I will send it to you if you haven't.
Oh, I have no clue what you're talking about, but I want to see it.
I'll send it to you.
I saw his movie After Yang when it was at Sundance, and it was virtual, and he was they were doing like the post movie interview, and I have pictures of it. He was sitting on his couch, literally like laid
I have
back,
pictures
like,
of this too.
Man,
Yes.
just man spread out. I'm like, hey, does he know he's on camera? Click, 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 click. But it's just like he's like such like an incredible guy, masterful actor. Shout out to Daredevil 2003. Yeah. So this was my pick.
Okay. Nice pick. Yeah, this is a really good pick. Okay. I was gonna mention Sophia drafted Phantom Thread, PTA. We have a new PTA movie coming up, so probably not the last time we'll be talking about PTA on this draft coming up. Yorgos has a movie coming out this year, Begonia. Not the last time we'll be talking about Yorgos. We do have some really exciting drafts coming up. So just a little teaser for months and months ahead. If you're a listener, you get a little bonus. Okay, Get Out, The Killing of a Sacred Deer on your team. Action horror, I think is very savvy. It's a very savvy category play by you, Des.
Thank you.
Okay, so I find myself in a position in which there is a film that must be on my team, and I feel like I could draft it later, but I also don't really want to risk it, and I feel like listeners probably know what this is, and I'm going to ask the question, because I feel like this question needs to be asked, talking about genre. How are we feeling as a unit, as a group here? Sympathy and care and recognition.
No.
The answer is no.
First Reformed horror movie, right? Pretty scary stuff.
Oh,
your release date is wrong.
You
Release date.
You want to draft that for this year when it
No.
belongs to 2018?
Yeah.
2018.
How dare.
Because I have it on my wild card list just to see if anyone would let me get away with it as a wild card, but it's not.
Yeah,
I would not have let you gotten away with that.
I
That was my
know.
favorite film of 2018.
I was so
It's
fucking
2018.
fired up to
2018.
revisit this big piece of lore here on the draft where I was stuck with it in wild card for the A24 auction many moons ago.
This was fall
Okay.
festival cycle 2017, but limited theatrical May
That's
to June
brutal.
2018.
The host of the podcast is like, we gotta be strict with the release dates, and he doesn't even do his research.
I did my research.
Clearly, you did not.
I was hoping it would matter.
We're telling you didn't.
I'm not gonna lie. I
Hoping
saw
you
it
slide.
on Letterboxd for 2017, and I practically jumped up cartoon style and said, "Oh my god, I'm gonna steal this from Ethan." And I was like, "Let me double check the dates because you know how A24 gets." And I saw 2018, and I said, "Damn, not this time."
What we
Maybe
could
next
have
time.
had.
What we could have had.
This is crazy. This has skewed my entire draft because I was going to draft that in drama, and I didn't choose Blade Runner 2049 in drama because I wanted First Reformed in drama. And now I'm screwed in multiple categories.
Yeah.
Oscar noms just beckoning with a mass amount of movies to be picked, and I have already chosen.
If only you prepared, like Danny.
God damn it.
Thank you, Des. Thank you.
What the heck? Okay, hold on. We got to go back to the drawing board.
Sweet Jesus.
This is
Let's
not
vamp
ideal.
for Ethan.
This is not ideal.
What
Okay,
is
you
everyone's
say
favorite
that.
Jordan Peele?
I vamp for everybody all the time. Come on, you can afford me at 30 seconds.
I'm
you know?
suggesting. I
Okay,
literally
please
just said
suggest
it.
Did you say
Jesus.
Dad's favorite Jordan Peele?
Yes,
Mine is Nope.
real.
Yeah, me too.
I love
yeah.
Nope. Yeah.
I think I'm with you there.
Get Out is still my favorite, but I love all three
Okay.
of his films equally.
Yeah.
Okay. It's giving I'd vote for Barack Obama for a third term if I could. But, okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Is Lady Bird people's favorite Greta Gerwig?
Ooh.
Mine is actually Narnia. So I'm really thrilled to be on that
All
train
right.
when it comes out.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna continue past that. The four of us over here. Well,
Is
What
calling
else-
by your name
what
everyone's
else did
favorite
she-
Luca?
What else did he do?
What?
My God, what did everyone make?
Greta, I think
who
Greta,
directed a movie?
Greta, I do love Little Women a lot, but
Yeah.
I think it is still Lady Bird.
both are
that
5
is-
stars for me.
Yeah, me too.
I feel very neutral about Greta Gerwig,
Yeah,
to be honest.
Okay.
fair.
Yeah.
I'm no closer to
Uh,
deciding, guys.
For Luca, bones and all.
Ooh,
Great
I
great
think
pick.
that might be
love-
mine too, Des. Yeah.
I love twin.
It's
Yeah.
either that or Call Me by Your Name. Both are like right there.
Yeah, I love Bones and All and Queer specifically because
Mhm.
I think Luca
Queer was great.
really
Okay.
speaks to me in the way of I love seeing the representation of romance and close is never close enough. And he does it so perfectly with cannibalism
Mhm.
and then also just like that interpretive dance scene in Queer that like blew me away. Like I couldn't
Mhm.
breathe like when that happened.
One of the most
Um,
underrated movies of last year, hands down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We saw I believe the world premiere of Queer at TIFF, and
We were at TIFF
Cool.
and you met
We-
Diego Calva.
yes, I did, and I got a picture of them, and I was forever changed in that moment. I walked out of Queer, and I was like, that was really good, and a lot of people walked out and they were like, I did not like that, and that
I
was
was
really
with you,
interesting to
buddy.
me.
Queer
I
was
liked it
great
a
from
lot.
day one.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Okay, in drama, ooh, hold on, we got a last minute curveball here. Oh,
If
okay.
Ethan throws off my ensuing strategy,
He's gonna be like drama boss baby.
because I've answered. Ethan, just take the fate of the Furious. Just move on. I know you want it.
Don't
I
bring
could never.
my cars into this.
I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm gonna leave that to you. In drama, I am going to be drafting. I don't want to fuck up my release date 2 times in a row. Okay, I'm gonna be drafting the Safdie brothers' Good Time in drama.
That was the one I was going to ask
Yeah.
about for action horror with the thriller.
I would have
That's
allowed
what
it. Yeah.
Mm.
That's what I
So-
thought you were going
so-
for with
so
that. Sophia.
close.
Yeah.
Because I knew Danny was not going to pick this.
Wow.
I was so close.
Mm.
Okay. I feel really good. I think Good Time, a pretty like criminally underrated and underseen movie, especially now with the state of the Safdies not making movies together anymore, Benny and Josh making their own things, I think is really interesting. We have the Smashing Machine coming out this year. Of course, we've had Benny working on The Curse, one of the all-time greatest television shows of the 21st century. And I think Robert Pattinson here is a special kind of Robert Pattinson that I would comp him the most to Oscar Isaac, where it's like in this era, he's very special because he's like not quite known yet. And then now, not the same. And so I like that. It's also a great New York movie. So happy to have him.
I'm so upset because
Yes.
I don't know how I missed that when I was putting together my list because that is one of like my all-time favorite movies. And like I just like choked on air when you said that. So I'm like, no,
Sick.
that
Makes
can't
me
be
feel really good.
2017.
Would you have taken it over Killing of a Sacred Deer had you had it on your list?
Yeah, that's the question. Oh, you would have.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Oh, so it turns
Ooh.
out Des bungled
Okay.
the draft and not me.
Implications here,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
God.
No, you still did. You
Hey, I
very much said
recovered.
you tried to
recovered
pick
so
a movie
nicely.
from a different year. So
Okay, it's true. I did do that. Okay, cool. I feel really good about that.
Furious.
That's
furious.
Yeah.
moving in the
that's a
right
good
So
pick.
direction.
pissed.
If I can make
Fate
Brian mad,
Furious.
we've done well. Danny, it is back to you.
It is indeed. Okay. I think I was hoping, honestly, that Dunkirk would somehow slip to me because it's a really good, sly box office pick. Because it typically with these, I've at least the one that I did with 2016, that box office tends to like really be IP heavy. And if you can grab something outside of that territory, it definitely feels like a win. So I'm going to move off of that because that's definitely where I wanted to go. So kudos to you, Sophia. I'm going to go to Oscar nom because it's not a ton of movies that I want to target that were Oscar nominated for this year. And I'm going to go with The Florida Project.
This was almost my pick.
I had a feeling it was on your short list for that round.
Big time.
And that's where I was like, if he throws me off here, I'm going to have to adapt. I think that's not my favorite Sean Baker. I love very dearly Tangerine. But I think this is probably number 2 for him, for me. This movie, I think, is just so delightful. It really captures that like childlike whimsy despite the circumstances surrounding you. And I think it's just wonderful. And that child performance, I should have looked up her name. I can't remember the lead actress's
I think it's
name.
Brooklyn Prince.
Brooklyn Prince. Yep. She's just absolutely delightful in this. I love the cinematography, the color palette of it. It's so vibrant and warm against the hardships of the actual story. So I think it's actually, I think, a really great Oscar nom that sort of was a little bit under the radar. Willem Dafoe should have also been nominated here. But yeah, gonna go with Florida Project.
This is a great pick. I think I think this will garner you a lot of votes, to be honest. I think after Anora,
Willem Dafoe was
Sean
nominated.
Baker, people
Let me correct that, but continue. Thank you, Ethan. He
should
was
have
also
won,
nominated.
probably. Who was he against that year? Who ended up winning?
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, Sam
Oh,
Rockwell
tough.
for 3 billboards.
Danny's favorite actor.
Him and I have beef.
I love Sam Rockwell. I love watching him dance. He's so fun.
For some reason, I thought this was nominated in screenplay and Willem Dafoe missed, but I was actually completely incorrect. Willem Dafoe was the nominee for this. So there.
It happens.
Still fits.
Okay.
Still fits.
2 A24 movies on your slate, Danny. Interesting strategy, interesting play here.
Was not intentional.
Really?
I didn't come in thinking I was going to pick from the A24 library, but here we are.
Here we are. Dez has an A24 film. I have an A24 film. Really fascinating. As I mentioned kind of earlier at the top of the show, A24 here on the back half of 2017. Obviously, a lot of pretty formidable projects that have withstood the test of time. Bryan, you have 2 picks. It's back to you. Hi, how are you?
Hi. Okay. So a lot of the films that I love have been taken, but we're going to work with what we have. So my next one, I'm going to go with box office. This film made $226 million domestically, and it could have been qualified for other categories, but thankfully it hadn't been taken. I'm really glad that's the case. I'm going to choose Logan for box office. This is fun, interesting fact about this. This is my favorite comic book superhero film of all time. And what's funny is that I'm not even a big X-Men guy. Like, Wolverine has never really been my favorite character and everything, but I really love how they push aside the superhero comic bookness of this and make it a straight up drama. This riveting character study about this ailing Wolverine, just basically at the end of his days, taking care of Professor X when he's at the end of his days. And then this whole family thing goes about and all this drama. It acts as a Western, a noir. Like, it's completely separates itself from all the other comic book movies that we were pretty much getting at this point. And it was refreshing to see something like this, to where there was actual love and care put into this film instead of just making it one gigantic CGI suckfest. It was very intimate and grounded and raw. And I remember watching this opening night with my friends, and I had no idea what to expect from this. Because, again, not a huge X-Men guy, not a huge Wolverine guy, not even really a big Hugh Jackman guy, to be honest. But I was wowed by his work in this film in every single department. And James Mangold is not a filmmaker that I immediately rush out to see his work, but I think that this might be the best thing that he's done, in my opinion. And it was a perfect send-off for this character after a nearly 20-year run. And it breaks my heart, truly, that they decided to kind of push this aside and bring this character back in a incredibly putrid film that I was going to
say, I don't think, do you realize this movie means nothing? So you just drafted a nothing movie because Deadpool and Wolverine is apparently real.
Well, you know what? In my eyes, this was the last time that we saw this character on screen. And you know what? I think the fact that it got an Oscar nom for Best Screenplay is really fucking sick. I think that's really cool that they're like, you know what? We're going to nominate a kind of film that we never, ever nominate. And they nominated it for Best Screenplay. And I think that that's pretty rad. So Logan will be my pick for box office. And then my second pick, very tricky. But I'm going to go to horror.
Okay.
I don't know how everyone feels. I'm not. Don't worry. I'm not going to pick your film.
What are you taking?
Wait.
I just almost had a heart attack. I almost had a heart attack.
This is. I might break
Danny,
hearts again.
if he doesn't take it, I guess it goes back to you. I was going to say I'll take it.
I know.
Brian, just do it. Take it here.
I think
take
Danny,
it.
You'll be fine. Don't worry.
No, screw Danny over. Make it interesting.
Danny, quick, make a threat.
Do it, Brian. What's up with this conversation you guys had on the back end? Apparently,
we all respected each other's wishes in the first round. Brian knows other wishes that are in the back end.
Yeah, well, I'm not very passionate about that movie, so I really don't care. I only want to get the films that I love.
Doesn't matter.
So in
Brian,
horror, I'm going to be taking Mother. I'm so sorry to everyone here who wants it.
Okay,
if anyone here wants it,
I like that movie.
The movie's terrible.
No, it's not. Shut up.
It's something else.
Super fucking bad.
You know what? You want to talk about super fucking bad movies?
I respect you for taking it.
Mothers.
Ethan do we need a reminder that Ethan hates women?
This whole story is about a woman? Please. Let's make a movie about something for a change.
Anyway, I fucking love Mother. I don't know why I love it, but every time I watch it, I just grow a bigger appreciation for it. It goes all out there, and I don't even care. And it might be my favorite Jennifer Lawrence performance. I really think that this might be the best that she's ever been. And you know what? Aronofsky, I'm hot and cold with. Some films of his I'm really high on. Some films of his I'm really, really low on. But this is one that kind of is close to the top for me. And I know that this is a very divisive film, a very polarizing film. But you know what? I admired the fact that he decided to just make this film and do whatever he wanted. And the weirdest supporting role of all time is in this movie with Kristen Wiig. That's the most random shit I've ever seen in my entire life. That was just the most bizarre thing ever.
I think. I don't know if I remember that happening.
Well,
Domhnall Gleeson is great in this movie. Shout out my boy.
Domhnall Gleeson and his brother are also in this movie. The Gleeson brothers, which is pretty cool.
Michelle Pfeiffer's in this movie?
Oh my god. Queen. And my guy Ed Harris. Yeah, I this movie says a lot and it may not work, but I don't care. I vibe with it. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. And I remember I went with my best friend to go see it, and he was like, that was the worst movie I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, to each their own. So Mother is my next pick for horror. I really thought someone was going to take this. I was like very surprised. Was someone going to take this at some point, or no? Was this not on anyone's radar?
No way.
It was on my long list for action horror, Brian. I like this movie a lot. We're going to be talking about it later this month in our retrospective for Aronofsky ahead of Caught Stealing.
Hell yeah.
Over on the rolling tape. Yeah, go check it out. Now, I have a deep detest for this film because it makes me incredibly uncomfortable, and I think that this has really spawned my bit that I've been rolling with for many years now, that like Aronofsky is just like is not it, and I'm not quite sure what's happening. Black Swan is fantastic, and I like The Wrestler, and he has his moments and his gems, but like Mother is just like by far and away not the thing for me. Hyper specifically because there's a child and things happen to the child, and that it's just a little too much for me personally, And I hold nothing against you, Brian, for taking this, but I think this movie sucks.
To each their own.
It's like Black Swan is cool until you watch Perfect Blue and you realize he watched that movie and said, "Oh, I'm just gonna make this."
I see,
and then stole it.
I watched The Red Shoes this weekend. I got to see that in theaters, which is one of my all-time favorites, and I just kept
masterpiece.
A story about this woman, like in her dedication to her work and violence and these fairy tale elements. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Okay, Brian, those are your two. Logan in box office and Mother in action horror. Danny, it's come back to you. You
It has.
seemingly get the movie you want.
Well, I know. Well, it seems like based on your prior commentary that if I don't take it, you will be taking it.
I'd highly consider it.
There was conversation about this movie in the 2016 draft based on release date and all of those elements, and we determined it was indeed a 2017 movie. I am going to be taking, in my opinion, Julia Ducournau's perfect directorial debut, Raw, for action horror.
Wait.
This is one that I was referring to at the beginning of the pod. This movie is noted as a 2016 release on Letterboxd and kind of the big next to the title, but it did not see a limited theatrical release in the US until March of 2017. So you're in the clear.
Okay.
Yep. It's great that I can come full circle on this because you threatened me on the 2016 pod. You were like, "Did you forget one of your favorite movies, Raw?" And I was like, "Wait, there's no way.
freaked.
Like, how could I possibly have forgotten that?" And then we determined it was indeed
Ethan was
20.
like, Danny, you fucking idiot. How could you possibly
You dumb
forget?
fucker. Yeah. How could you ever do this to your favorite
No,
movie?
you literally, that's pretty much the sentiment he was giving. So I'm glad that we can reconcile with that moment, and I'm glad that was still on the table. This is what I was referring to with Bryan and some conversations we had surrounding some of our favorite movies.
I think in a year in 2025, like specifically where it feels like we have so many movies that are at least somewhat thematically tackling this idea of lineage and family and the things that are inherently handed down. I think Raw is a really great, interesting choice that surrounds that as well. I remember watching Raw for the first time and I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. It's really, really cool that people can make movies. Okay. That's
Diabolical
a really
movie for a vegetarian to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
may have led
wild.
me there in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, for listeners that haven't seen Raw, I highly recommend it. It is 100% I guess you could classify as like a psychological horror about a vegetarian that is forced to do other things in college. I think we'll just kind of leave it at that as really important. Okay. All right. So I've got comedy, action, horror, box office, and a wild card. Raw is off the board. That was going to be my horror pick. So you've done well, Danny.
Do we need vamp for you?
No. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking.
Okay.
I'm
just
I'm
checking.
struggling. I'm just gonna say pick two next. I'm like, we'll see.
We're in the third round and we're like, I don't really know if any good movies are left.
This is
crazy. I'm like so excited. I have so many picks to choose from. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Yeah.
I was really curious where this draft was going to go at a certain point because I think like everything that's come off the board for the most part is stuff that I anticipated being in the first couple of rounds, and then I think it gets you gotta get a little bit more creative. I think after that.
Yeah. Okay. So in comedy, a category that I'm like frankly not really thrilled with. I think there's like kind of a really cool pick in there that is not one of my favorites. But if I saw it on somebody's team, I'd be like, ball. But I'm just like not ready to commit to that right now. Some other things that I just like don't really vibe with are not my favorites. So I'm gonna be going with the one that I kind of want to use as like a pedestal for like if you haven't seen this, watch this movie. And I'm going to be taking in comedy, Ingrid Goes West.
You son of a bitch.
I think this is a movie about Audrey Plaza basically becoming parasocially obsessed with a social network star who's played by Elizabeth Olsen. And Wyatt Russell is in this movie. Billy Magnuson, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Pom Clementif. Has kind of a slew of really great actors or that guys. And it is ultimately about like a parasocial relationship and how that works within society and how far is too far. And it features like hot people like Wyatt Russell, O'Shea Jackson, Elizabeth Olsen, and Aubrey Plaza, all hot. And so like I think it's a good time. Takes place in Hollywood, takes place in the desert. I think cool setting, cool movie, really funny, and I would recommend if you haven't seen it. 97 minutes, kind of an elite length.
That is such an
Pick.
underrated movie.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it's pretty underrated. Have you guys all seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Oh,
I think you'd like it, Brian.
Is it coming of age?
Nah, not inherently. I don't think.
Oh well, hard pass then.
There was a few things in my research I added to my watch list that sparked my curiosity. I knew I just didn't have time to get to. I think this was one of them. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. If I had come to this sooner and had more time, I probably would have caught up with that.
I will say that when this movie came out, I was working at a movie theater, so I've seen the ending to this movie like 30 times.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's good. I recommend it. It's not streaming anywhere right now, unfortunately. I go own physical media. I own it on Blu-ray, so I can watch it whenever I want. I highly recommend you do the same at a local place. But yeah, this is a cool movie. Much better than Elizabeth Olsen's latest venture, which would be The Assessment, which is an absolute dog shit film.
This fucking
Vivarium, except a smidge better.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to hear my full thoughts on The Assessment, go over to the rolling tape and listen to me bash that movie for about 100 minutes in front of Danny. It's a really good time. Des, you are up with a pick.
Okay. I did want to say super quick from Ingrid Goes West. It's a line that I think about so much, and it's when I'm blanking on her name right now, but Aubrey Plaza's character is looking on Elizabeth Olsen's like social media, and she's like trying to figure out like what to like comment on it to like start like conversation, and she says it's like a picture of food. She's like, "Damn girl, that looks yummy as fuck. What's your email address?" And then she like quickly like backspaces it, and I remember like almost like nearly peeing myself. I was cracking up. I love that movie so much. This is stressful to me. I think
we're all listening intently.
I
Okay.
support you right now.
I feel like we really did. I feel like the draft really did take a drop off. Like I feel like
yeah.
No, I'm just trying to
our
figure
collective energies.
I'm trying to figure out what order I want to do this in.
Okay. Doesn't sound like you're making a ton of progress.
Des, you take the time you need. You take the time you need to figure
Oh my
this
God,
out.
thank you, brother Danny.
Okay, let's relax.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go box office.
Okay. A lot of big movies still on the board, in my opinion.
And I'm going to go Coco.
Oh, dang. That's a really good
on my
pick.
list.
Love
Yeah.
that
Thank
movie.
you.
good pick.
Thank you.
Shoot.
Some of the best, soundtrack, Remember Me. I'll start crying right now. Just a lot of great hits. I think that this was one of the highlights of probably this century in terms of, getting to highlight other cultures, especially with like, kids. And, I'm thinking along the lines of like, Coco, Turning Red, those movies that get to be accessible to kids. And also you get to learn a little something as well. I think this movie deserved all the love and more. And I still think about it to this day.
Made almost $1 billion worldwide. Like almost in quotes. It made like just over 800, but like that's a lot of money.
Did that make the box office mark for this?
Barely. Right there. Barely. I mean,
just seems fast.
For a wholly original Disney Pixar animated feature film to make under $814 million globally, when we just had Elio come out that barely cracks 100 million globally. Like it is,
that breaks my heart.
How far we have fallen, I think, in the last 8 years when it comes to that kind of stuff. Coco, I remember specifically my daughter born in 2018. Coco was on every single morning in our house. She couldn't speak, but she knew the songs, she knew the characters, she knew that movie. And like that was her movie when she was a baby. And so Coco holds a very near and dear place in my heart. So I would like to formally introduce Dez's idea of playing Devil on the draft. And if I can steal that and then give you something else, that'd be great. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that.
I was thinking about it. I was like, wait.
I know. I had you for a second.
Let's look at what you got. Actually,
You didn't.
You got 2 movies that
You didn't respond the way I wanted to, so I had to quickly clarify that was not actually happening.
Well, for the listeners, I was just jaw dropped.
Yeah.
The wheels were turning in the brain of what I would have liked to swap out. Can we revisit that at the end?
You did suggest that you wanted Good Time, right?
Yeah, and
Okay,
I also said, "You son of a bitch," when he took Ingrid Goes West.
It's true.
It's also true.
I'd like to retain those on my team for that very sentiment.
Well,
Happy to have you angry.
Okay.
Okay. Coco's a really good pick. I like that in box
pick.
office. Sophia, you are back up with a double.
You know, something really unfortunate happened to me, which is that my action, horror, and comedy picks are both 2018, and I just learned that. So I'm gonna have to pivot, but that's okay.
Oh no.
I'm gonna say that my crafty thing that I wanted to do that you're definitely not going to allow, but I realized because I have it on Letterboxd, is I would love if I could draft Twin Peaks: The Return.
But
Are you fucking joking me? Because that's exactly what I was mulling over, and I was like, really? I can wait like 2 seconds?
I will not be allowing that. Not on this draft.
Thank God. Oh, thank God. You know what? Making me agree with Ethan out here. Oh
Sorry,
my God. I was just
thinking, I was like, I was looking at my Letterboxd and can I do it? But I understand why not.
If not for the sole reason that I've never seen Twin Peaks. So I don't have any room here, unfortunately. Yeah, I know. Okay. It is in the number 1 queue slot right now of like TV shows to watch after I get done watching Love Island UK.
Okay. Ethan, when you're done watching Twin Peaks, you have to come up and visit me because I live like 15 minutes from where they filmed it. So
amazing. Even more reason that I need to check out.
Need to go sightsee.
Yes. Oh, that would be fun. But no, I'm not going to allow you to draft that, Sophia.
Okay, that's
Des,
right.
just know now that if he doesn't watch it, it's because he's avoiding you.
Exactly.
Because he
correct. Yeah.
Mind you, you know the story of how we first met in person. Hunted me down at the
I wouldn't say hunted. That's some pretty poor connotations with that one. I merely asked, where is this wonderful physical media location you're at? Would you mind if I showed up to the completely public space? And you said yes. You said it was cool.
The killing of the sacred Des is what happened.
That's where we went with that
showed
one.
up and got me.
That's great.
It's true, I did. Okay, Sophie, you actually have to draft.
Okay, all right. I know.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so action horror. My picks were all taken. That's the bad drafting by taking Phantom Thread and Dunkirk first, which I like on my board, but having to wait. This was a tough blow. Okay, this is considered an action adventure movie on IMDb and as well as its Wikipedia page. So I will be taking Bong Joon-ho's Okja.
Ooh,
nice.
Okay.
Really wanted this one too.
I wasn't sure if anyone was really wanting this one, but it's such a unique film, I think, and it's anything for me personally with Tilda Swinton in it is just it instantly just shoots up really to the top of my list. But this was one of those categories where I think like horror this year we have a few really strong horror movies. I think especially Get Out and Raw are great picks. Raw I didn't even notice, so I'm jealous of that pick, but I'll take Okja. I feel like this is it's a cool pick for my board, and I do love director Bong.
Mm-hmm.
Then okay,
that's a good pick. Quite the cast.
Definitely a good cast, right?
I love that, Sophia.
Paul
That was
Dano.
if I didn't land Raw, that was where I was going to go with action horror.
Cool. And I love anything with Stephen Yeun. Also, I think he's just one of our great underrated actors.
Oh,
always
daddy.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. You got it.
Good
A lot of
call
Jake
out.
Gyllenhaal thigh action in this movie.
Always important. Okay, and where to go next? I think comedy also. So just to fully confess here, I really wanted Paddington 2 because that was a 2017 UK release. Didn't come out in the US until January.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was going to inquire about this because it's like it is
right there.
Honestly, Sophia, I'm going to try to make a case for you because I was going to try to make a case for myself.
Absolutely not. January 12th, 2018.
Shut up, Ethan. Stop. Ethan. But it premiered all across Europe, including its domestic country, the UK, in 2017. It was within the same awards cycle. It was nominated for BAFTAs, the same cycle as other films that were drafting that were Oscars eligible.
Arguably the most important voting body that we have to date. Sure. No, not going to be taking this into the 2017 draft.
But Paddington movies are always, that's always how they release, is that like their domestic UK release is what's important for that
Same
that
with
film.
Peru.
Yeah. Because that's why I saw Paddington in Peru over Thanksgiving, because I was in the UK for work. And I was like, you know, I'm going to see it because I'm not going to be able to see it in the US until probably January, February.
I was primed and prepped to make this argument, and I knew Ethan was going to hard veto me because he did it last time I tried to loophole him in 2016.
I think this is different also than something like a First Reformed that has a festival release.
Okay, don't bring First Reformed into this. You don't need to do that. I think this will be a wonderful movie for somebody to draft in the 2018 movie draft. Can't wait for that moment to happen here on this show.
Okay, fine.
That was like
Sophia and I might fight over it if we return.
If we're back.
There could not be a more wrong movie.
Moment.
It was just like a vision.
I was just like, I just had a vision, and Ethan got first, and he drafted it despite everyone.
Oh my god! Honestly,
actually, we should update the schedule and we should update the schedule in real time. Yeah, actually, we should get this group back for 2018.
I think so.
Important.
I think that's a good
important
idea.
work.
We have something to settle here with Paddington 2.
We really do.
2018 not on the schedule for the rest of the year. I'll just put that out there. 2026 draft we're looking at.
Well, okay, in comedy, it's hard because there's some comedies that I think a lot of people like that I don't really like, that were kind of in the award season this cycle, so I can save them for you. There's one really like raunchy comedy that I do really love. But
What was it?
Well, I think maybe someone will want it, so I'll just see. I'll leave it on the board.
Who do you think is gonna want it?
I think you might want it. Or I think I could see Bryan wanting it, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
I know Ethan's not gonna want it.
Fascinating.
Ethan, I don't think Ethan will want it.
What movie is it? I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
There you go. It's
very funny though.
I'm in the dark too. I don't know what this is.
Okay. Well then I'm actually gonna take a movie that I would say is more of a dramedy, I think. But that do I want to do that? This is hard, you guys. Vamp for me. I know I had so much time to decide, but the two back to back is tricky.
It's tough.
Yeah. That back to back is hard. So there's a comedy movie out there that I'm the only person that I wouldn't like it. That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
I don't think it fits with your movie taste.
Doesn't fit
right. I had a great time
morals
watching
and ethics.
This. I had a great time in the theater watching this. I'll say that.
Yeah, what movie is this? Oh, I'm so fascinated.
I mean, I have an idea, but I'm like, it can't be.
You know what? You all have encouraged me to look up the list of 2017 movies on Wikipedia, and we're just gonna start trying to find
just all of them.
Every single one.
Okay.
God, a lot of movies.
There are a lot.
XXX: The Return of Xander Cage. You guys remember that?
Don't play in my face right now.
You guys remember that with
yes,
with Vin Diesel?
Remember that Vin Diesel.
Produced by Joe Roth. That's wow. Yeah. What a time in 2017.
Okay.
This you got it?
I think I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead. You go. Vamp. Do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you guys go to a bodega in New York City. What breakfast sandwich are you getting?
That's a near impossible question for a West Coast person to answer, because I don't know what that.
Period. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup.
Wow. Wait, does the ketchup come on it, or do you get it on the side?
On it.
On it for sure.
Yeah.
The BEC
Really?
is definitely like the correct answer, but as a vegetarian, I have to just go EC.
Vegetarian. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
you're one
fair,
of
yeah.
those people, huh, Danny?
One of those people. Yeah.
Impossible.
Ethan likes to put me in a box in my environmentalism shtick, he calls it.
Okay, I do not call it that.
screaming.
I think it's an
It's
incredible
documented.
bit that
It's
you are
documented.
working really well to make funny. I think it's
It
great.
is fully documented. Those are the exact words you have said on the podcast. I have them recorded. I have them published. I have them everywhere that we can find them.
I'm thinking
This
about you guys going to a barbecue and Ethan just getting like a whole like platter, and you're just like, I wonder how many animals had to die for that.
Probably true, actually. We'll see what happens when we both go see Park Chan-wook's new film about the trees. The trees.
Yeah.
It's really just his rendition of the Lorax is my take. But I think, Danny, in the chat, you were like, the environment. And I was like, Park Chan-wook is back.
Would you guys, I have a question, because this is not, it is considered a comedy in some places, but not in others. I didn't think of it as a comedy.
Did you laugh?
You know, I didn't, so I'm not going to take
Okay.
it. That's a good.
Wait, what is it though? You can't do that and then not put it forth.
Well, okay, Kogonada's film Columbus is listed in places as a comedy drama, and I do not think of this as a comedy. And I stretch the definition sometimes. That's not a
drama.
comedy.
Yeah,
It's not a comedy.
So in that case, I'm just going to take The Big Sick.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Which I think is solid. I was not like a, massive, I would say, fan of that one, but I did enjoy it that year. I think it's a really beautiful script and a solid comedy, I think, compared to some of the like lower tier picks I have on here that are really, I think, stretching the definition, that feel much more dramedy to me.
Damn.
So I'll go with The Big Sick.
I was gonna pick that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good one.
I love Holly Hunter in that movie so much.
Mhm.
She is
She's
so
great.
great in that movie. That outburst at the stand-up performance is so funny. It's incredible stuff.
Everything Sophia has picked has been my 1 or 2 in each category. I am obsessed with your team right now.
Oh, this always happens on drafts. Like I always have someone where it's like I could see those picks happening on my board, just in another universe. Yeah.
Okay. It's a good pick.
But
I
no
haven't
Twin
seen
Peaks The Return.
No Twin Peaks The Return. The Big Sick, directed by Michael Showalter, who most recently directed The Idea of You, and has a couple movies coming out. A movie in 2026 called Verity with Dakota Johnson and Hathaway.
Hell
and Josh
yeah!
I can't wait for
Hoover.
Verity.
It's not gonna be good, but it's gonna be good. You know what I mean?
It's not going to be good, but it's going to be good for the discourse. And that's what, sometimes we need a little bit of that.
I unfortunately read the book, and I think that Anne Hathaway is going to be incredible with the voiceover flashbacks. Oh, yeah. She's going to be great.
Oh, gotta read that book. It's great stuff.
God has a strong.
Okay.
The Josh Hartnett comeback continues.
Yes.
It really does.
Love him.
Des, we are back to you for a pick.
We are. Yeah. I'm gonna go comedy.
Okay.
But I'm low-key between 2 movies. They both have captured my heart in such like a specific way. One of them I was just talking about recently, like I think it's an underrated comedy. But I think the consistent comedy, I'm gonna go with Girls Trip. Yeah.
So fun.
Another movie I've seen ended to 30 times when I was working at the movie theater.
And yes, like it's so good. And it's definitely one of like those necessary movies. There aren't a lot of movies that focus on Black women as main characters, let alone a group of friends that are Black women, and they're not being mocked in like a stereotypical way. Like it's like genuine fun. They're at the Essence Festival, which since this movie has come out, Essence Festival has gone, downhill. But, just the stories that they tell, the experiences that they talk about in the movie are definitely things that need to have like, light shit on it. And, it is so raunchy and so good. And I love Queen Latifah so much. If she needs a controversially young girlfriend a third to the group, I'm here. DMs open.
Available.
Available.
Is-
Okay.
Is she a regular listener of the podcast, Ethan?
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
what I heard.
No,
Yeah.
Generally, it's her leaving the comments on Spotify specifically.
Yeah.
That are like, hey,
That feels like
I
her.
just listened to this show and it's great. So yeah,
Mhm.
you know the audience.
But yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's Regina Hall, Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, Tiffany Haddish. Like it's very funny people.
Okay, that's good. I added this movie to my watch list when I was doing my research for this draft. So I do plan to watch it one day. I'm excited.
One day.
For
How
when
long's that
day
watch
may
list?
happen. Thousands. It's so long. I do have
Terrible.
people DM me and they're like, you should check out this movie, and I'm just completely frank with them, and I'm like, I'll add it to my watch list. It's gonna be
Still
several
waiting
years.
for you to watch Portrait of a Lady on Fire, buddy.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
the
but
right
still-
time, Brian.
You
The right
haven't seen
time.
French lesbians on the beach?
Unfortunately, I haven't. You know, you really hit a soft spot.
It's
in
a
my heart with
formative
that one,
experience for us all, Ethan.
We get it. You
I
love
know.
Megalopolis so much, but please shut that off and watch
Okay.
actual good cinema.
Okay. I actually do sleep with my steelbook of Megalopolis right next to me on my bedstand, and I go to bed
Sick
looking at
baby.
it. So
I
thanks
got the
for
worst migraine
daughters are
during
like-
Megalopolis.
thanks for
Daddy, can I
acknowledging
come
my
sleep in the
passion.
bed with you? And it's like you're like, no, sweetie, you can't come
Yeah.
sleep in the bed because I have to have Megalopolis here with me.
Yeah, I'm like, you got to be out on the couch, woman.
Adam
Yeah.
Driver
I've
and
got
Aubrey
Megalopolis.
Plaza and Shia LaBeouf.
I got
are here.
WoW
Sorry.
Platinum in my mind. Thanks so much.
Anti-WoW? No.
Anti-WoW.
Screaming.
This has been a great little side conversation applauding how great Megalopolis is. That was really fun. I liked that. Thank you all. Okay, so
AI.
I have to pick a movie. Action horror looking a little thin, in my opinion. I've got a few that could be good. Do I really want to pick that though? I'm really torn between three. So one of them by a director that I just frankly don't like anything that he does. But I think this movie is good. So I find myself in an interesting spot.
About to
Okay.
faint. I can already tell where this is going.
The other one I feel like is a little bit too much of a deep cut for a draft. And I just picked up Ingrid Goes West, so I kind of want to go a little bit more mainstream. I don't want to go too deep. So in action horror, I am going to be taking... What do we do, guys? You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take Spider-Man
cut.
Homecoming.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm going to be taking Spider-Man Homecoming.
So off
and-
my radar in terms of where I thought he was going with that.
in
Yeah.
action
Yeah.
horror.
Same.
I think Spider-Man Homecoming is great. I think the Spider-Man trilogy by John Watts in the MCU is some of the best MCU stuff. Hopefully, drafting this will come with a little bit of the energy that's coming from Fantastic Four and the general mid-reception
we
that's
know
receiving.
he's an SEO drafter.
I am. I do try my hardest for those AI votes. I got to make sure I get them. So
Screaming.
I'll take Spider-Man Homecoming. I do think everybody can agree this is one of the greatest villain reveals in the MCU. I think with the red light, green light, Michael Keaton and Tom Holland in the car together. Okay. Feel good about that.
I'm trying to think about what you're talking about, and then I realized every time that I've tried to watch this movie, I fell
Okay.
asleep because it's so boring. So I actually don't have any idea what reveal you're talking about because it can't keep me for that long.
That's fucking crazy. Spider-Man
Yes, I'm-
Homecoming
I'm
is
obsessed with
actually
you.
a good movie. It's actually really good. And you're like, it's boring?
Fell asleep multiple
That's
times.
crazy.
I don't remember what happened either, so thank you.
God, what the hell, guys? It's okay.
And when I genuinely
Neither here nor there.
multiple times it happened. I've tried to watch the movie. It won't let me.
Do you want to hear the logline to this on Letterboxd? Because it'll turn you off even more. Homework
Yes.
can wait. The city can't.
My sleep can't either, apparently.
All right. I stand by my draft pick. People will be proud of me. Going back to my MCU roots. Okay.
My God.
Danny, back to you.
I'm sort of surprised by the category you took it in.
I'm not feeling great about action horror.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I'm seeing that because you could have taken this somewhere else.
Fuck, there was a movie I
think,
wanted an action horror that I forgot to put on my short list that was in the short list for another category.
I love how I just poked a little bit
Damn
and he
it!
realized he made a
God, it was such a cool pick too.
This is what happens when you
fucking
make fun of me for not picking Good Time.
botched it. Oh my God.
Karma comes back quick.
You fucking kidding me? Oh, whatever. This draft, just let's go. Let's cycle through this, you know? Just fucking make these picks. That's... Dang it! Okay. Whatever. You're up, Danny?
Am I allowed to? You seem to be still mid crash out, so I wanted to make sure you were good to continue.
I think we're like on a 7-episode streak of Ethan crashes out over his own picks.
Probably
has
70.
nothing to do with other people. Yeah, probably going 70 straight.
All right. This film was mentioned, and that made me a little nervous because I thought I was going to be able to save it for my wild card, but I'm going to go ahead and take it here. Sophia, we're really on a kindred spirit, I think, with this draft. I'm going to take Kogonada's Columbus.
There it is. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a great pick.
This is basically as perfect of a movie as you can get in my book. I am a real life architect in my actual day-to-day 9 to 5. So seeing it portrayed in a really, I think, nuanced way and having these characters having conversations about the passion they feel about it, the way that Kogonada frames the architecture of this city, it's just like magnificent to watch. I fell in love with everything about Haley Lou Richardson when I watched this movie for the first time. Like I could literally watch her talk about architecture for hours on end and I would still give it 5 stars. I love this movie very dearly. I think it may be leaning toward a little bit more of a for me pick than like a for the voter pick. I think that it's maybe not the most widely discussed movie, but I think it's a beautiful little gem for the people who discover it. And I do kind of have a lot of maybe those on my team. That's kind of where I've gone a little bit. But yeah, Columbus, I didn't want to leave this draft without. And Sophia, you made me a little bit nervous there. I was like, no, it's not a comedy. No.
I didn't think anybody would touch it. So I just threw it out there. I was like, can I? Because it was on my drama list and I was just looking up where it could maybe fit in. So, but I'm glad you have it. It's a beautiful gem of a film.
Yeah, for sure.
I
can't wait for
watched this for the first time
journey.
The other day. I just watched it
nice.
for the first time.
Oh.
And I loved it so much. I thought it was incredible. And
wow.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. It's incredible. It made me cry. Made me cry multiple times.
Well, I added this movie to my watch list, and I really appreciate going from my Spider-Man Homecoming pick to Columbus, a movie that I frankly had never heard of until Sophia had mentioned it here. So, but shout out Kogonada and his one episode of The Acolyte that he directed. Great stuff for Star Wars.
He's directed 2 amazing movies.
I'm on an island on that one.
Yeah, I was going to say After Yang, great too.
After Yang is great.
A modern masterpiece.
Danny, you mentioned this Big Beautiful Bold Tomorrow is coming out in a couple of months, which is really exciting as well. Okay, Brian, you have 2 picks.
Okay. Like everyone has been saying, the comedy picks have been very slim. It's not the best year for comedy. It's a good year for dramedies, but for straight up comedies, there's not that much to choose from, unfortunately. So I don't even love this movie that much, but I think it was really cool for this director to make this film and assemble the cast that they assembled. So I'm going to go with Steven Soderbergh's Logan Lucky for comedy. Okay. I like this movie quite a lot. It's not my favorite Soderbergh, but it was nice to see him kind of come out of his retirement to do a film like this with this ginormous cast of like Channing Tatum and Adam Driver. And in my opinion, a scene-stealing, bleached hair Daniel Craig, who literally stole the entire movie. There's just moments in this film where he just stands there and does nothing, and it's so funny And this really launched him into being, in my opinion, a very talented comedic actor. Obviously, look at what he's done with the Knives Out movies. It's Benoit Blanc. It's incredible. I'm so hyped for Wake Up Dead Man. Cannot wait to see that. And just him working with Josh O'Connor and the love of my life, Kaylee Spaney. I need that right now. Please and thank you. But yeah, Logan Lucky, not a film that a lot of people talk about amongst the filmography of Soderbergh. I mean, the guy's directed so many movies. He's made like 5 movies this year alone. So he just keeps grinding, and I respect him very much for that. But yeah, I would say that this would be my pick for comedy. Again, not one I'm super enthusiastic about, but I liked it enough to put it here in this spot. And for drama, this is for this is for the girls and the gays and me. The Beguiled from Sophia Coppola. I think that this is a criminally underrated film, and this is not Sophia's best, I will admit that, but the fact that people don't give this the attention that it deserves is really sickening to me, because this was something to where we got everything that we had seen from her at this point in this film, but then there's this thriller spin to it, the psychological spin to it, that I was so taken aback by, because I'm like, there's no way that this is from the person who made Lost in Translation and The Bling Ring and Somewhere and Marie Antoinette. I never would have thought in my life that I would have seen a film like this from Sophia Coppola, but I remember sitting in the theater just so transfixed by this, and my jaw was just on the floor watching Colin Farrell do the things that he does in this. Like Des said before, huge Colin Farrell fan over here. I love Colin Farrell. It's so funny that this is not the only Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman collab of this year, because obviously Sacred Deer came out this year as well, and then Elle Fanning kicking so much ass in this, Kirsten Dunst just firing on all cylinders as she always does. And I just have to say that men who harm turtles absolutely have to go. Like, they have to go. You don't harm a turtle in front of me. I'm so sorry. So The Beguiled is my pick in drama.
I don't know what that means, but I just thought of the ending of Conclave, and I was like, "That's my Pope," you know.
Well, see, he was very kind. He was very kind to the turtles in that, but Colin Farrell was not kind to the turtles in this movie. You'll see. You'll understand when you watch the movie.
Turtle Farmer. I give Turtle Farmer energy.
Turtle Harmer energy. Let's get it straight.
Are you fucking high? Like, you think that if I cross paths with a turtle, I'm gonna be like, get fucked and stop it? Like, what am I gonna do?
I don't think you would pick it up and
I'm gonna conclave that shit. I'm gonna pick him up. I'm gonna deliver him to the nearest pond. Him or her. Doesn't matter. I'm not gender biased with turtles. Could be any. Aren't turtles androgynous? Pretty sure.
What?
Yeah.
In what way?
What are you talking about?
Nonetheless, I like turtles.
Go see The Beguiled, everyone.
Okay, so Logan Lucky in comedy and The Beguiled in drama. Okay. Danny, it is back to you. You got to make a pick.
I'm so distraught now. I'm very flustered by what just went down, if I'm going to be honest. Wow. Okay. 2 categories remaining. I need to fill just wild card and box office.
Turtles are not hermaphrodites. I just wanted to confirm, so we're all clear.
Google's also telling me they have gender, but the AI granted AI overview, but it's not always determined at conception, because like Reddit many says, other animals.
Why can some animals like turtles develop into different sexes?
Yes,
I was partially correct.
Immediately determined.
Great, thanks. I love turtles.
We all learned. We all learned
that much
because
you didn't know what their anatomy was.
Okay, wow. Didn't expect to have to be freaking deposed on turtles today. Holy cow! Just draft, Danny.
Just draft. Okay. I'm going box office. I am between a couple here, really kind of weighing the merits here. There's one, I will say the number one domestic grossing movie of 2017. I'm actually a defender of, but I don't think the general consensus on this movie lends itself to a good vote turnout.
Okay.
So I'm going to probably avoid it. And I guess you can call this an Ethan SEO play, but I'm going to go Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We're in our James Gunn summer right now.
Mhm.
I am not very well documented, not a fan of the MCU, and that's putting it very lightly. But I do really like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I like the vision that Gunn brought to these. I think it's the most thought through, I guess, component of the larger MCU cinematic universe. It feels like it comes to a natural conclusion in a really satisfying way with Volume 3. And so I'm going to take this. I'm also a big Superman fan as well. So James Gunn, I don't mind having on my team here.
Okay. I would argue the best, well, the third act really falls apart in Guardians Volume 2. It's really a tragedy.
3 is still my favorite, but I quite enjoy 2 for sure.
Okay. MCU output in 2017 was at an all-time madness level, by the way.
This is true.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok. Just kind of crazy stuff. Okay. In box office, I am going to be drafting. I was really up in the air about 2. One of them is a little bit more of a heart pick, but I'm going to go with what I think is going to look a little bit better on the graphic and arguably the much better film. I'm going to be drafting War for the Planet of the Apes. This movie is super fucking cool, and I think this entire Caesar trilogy that we get in Apes franchise is awesome. I watched it for the first time in preparation for Rise of the Planet of the Apes, a movie that I thought was quite poor, but these movies are cool. So War for the Planet of the Apes. Cool. We're all aligned. That was a great pick.
I think it's a solid trilogy. Like it is.
It is. It really is. Okay, Des, you have a pick.
Mm-hmm. You don't say.
You've got drama and wild card remaining.
I sure do, don't I?
Same with Sophia, interestingly enough. Drama and wild card.
Twin.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't like that?
I liked it. I thought it was great.
Thank you. I think what I will do, I'm going to go drama, and I'm going to go with a ghost story.
Oh, that's what I was going to take.
That was this year?
Yeah.
Oof, that's a tough blow.
Those
That's
gasps
wow.
just acted like a defibrillator to the
God
chest.
damn.
It really, I'm
I
awake.
didn't even know this movie was
I
available.
thought this was so. I thought this was
I thought it
so
was
safe
mine.
for my wild.
I almost took
Sophia,
this.
we're
Drama.
on the literally
I
the same
almost
page.
took this. But I'm glad
This
that I'm
movie's
not the
so good.
person that got all these gasps out. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't
Movie's
steal it from
so
anybody.
good.
I'm
oh my
thrilled
gosh.
that I got that. Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Dang.
I don't have to say anything. You guys know how this movie rocks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea. It's like what's that meme where it's like coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb? It's like like a ghost story versus that movie Here with Tom Hanks. Like
Okay,
that piece of garbage.
that doo-doo.
This is not a
movie.
Here slander pod. You have slandered Megalopolis, you have slandered First Reformed, and now you're slandering Here. That's where I draw the line.
Here. He doesn't even like. He can't even like that movie. It's so bad.
We have a ghost story at home. It's Here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, you worked on that one. But
Happy for you.
that was really funny. Yeah, no, I love a ghost story. I love the just like the showing of, the time passage and people passing away, and just kind of how grief changes over time, and how you leave your mark on this world, and how everyone who kind of just remembers you or remembers what you contributed also goes, and then you're just nothing but not even a memory anymore. And the world just keeps turning, and that's so depressing. And I'm so into that. So I'm going to take that for drama.
You just made me depressed saying all of that. That was really depressing.
Nice.
Another
Have some-
A24 movie off the board, notable.
Yeah.
I think, and I really do think it's pretty cool that Casey Affleck's character is just named C and Rooney Mara's character is named M, and I think that's pretty neat that they did that. David Lowery has the juice. The ultimate one for you, one for me, guy. Okay. A ghost story. Sophia, you're gonna be the first to finish your team. You have 2 picks.
Well, that one threw me for a loop because I thought I was safe with that one. I
Sorry.
love. It's okay. I love that movie though. It's depressing as hell, and you really do just have to sit there. And I sat there in silence when it was done, just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what just happened to me? This meditation.
I started it over and just like rewound
Just
it.
reran it.
Oh my
I
God.
just ran it straight back. I was like,
Crazy.
I'm so amazed by what I just witnessed. I need to do it again.
Damn, you said run it back.
crazy.
You're crazy.
Okay, so I'm gonna do instead here. I'm gonna go with a 2016 release that actually came out in the US in 2017. I think. Let me just double check that I'm right here. I think I am, but I don't want to pick it and then yeah, I'm good. I think this will get some votes. I think there are some defenders of this movie, and I am one of them. I'm gonna take James Gray's The Lost City of Z.
Oh, I love that movie
Oh.
so much. Oh, so
It's like I think this is actually one of them that I watched very recently. I didn't watch this in the year that it came out. It kind of evaded me, and I think it is just a really mysterious, enthralling film about exploration and about seeking, and yeah, I think it's really beautiful. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that in drama.
Okay.
And wild card. Okay.
We all have wild card left. Very interesting that we all waited.
We did. And this is why it's tricky because you really can go anywhere. It's like, and this is where I was really going to try to do some like First Reformed Twin Peaks stuff again, just to see like how wild can the wild card get.
Try to get spicy.
Paddington
Trying
2.
to get spicy.
Paddington 2.
You know,
sure.
Paddington 2, I really thought I could get away with in the main
I know.
category.
Sophia, I cannot believe how much we're sharing a brain cell right now because I literally came
know.
into this prime to argue with Ethan about Paddington 2.
It's so weird when this happens with someone you haven't podcasted with before, but have heard
Sure.
on pods too. It's like it starts to sync up. Okay. I think for a wild card, I'm just gonna go with another. I think this will work too. 2016 Delay. Let me just double check here. Just make sure. Sorry for the lack of prep on my end. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, talking about being
I
connected to
take-
Danny.
Girl,
Holy cow.
girl, take your time,
Good Lord.
please.
Okay. I'm gonna give you some extra time.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take. I think. I don't know how many of you have seen this. I don't think I'm like really stealing it from anybody. But
Oh
this is just
no.
Uh-oh.
I swear if you
Okay.
this will be absolutely wild if you pull this.
Okay. I don't think I will. I don't think so. But just in case, I'm going to be taking Personal Shopper as my wild card.
Okay.
It's a good wild
I
card.
don't think it's going to necessarily, like hit the SEO mark. But I do really enjoy this film. Kristen Stewart, I think this is just one of her best performances, and I don't know, I really enjoy these sorts of, spooky mystery dramas. I guess I could have made a case to take this in horror. I think it has the right elements. But I think it feels like more of a wild card. So that's how I'm going to close out my team.
Okay. Nice. Never a bad thing to get Kristen Stewart on your team, I'll say.
I had her last time for Twilight, so here she
You
is
did?
again. She's back.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Des, you got to finally round out your team here.
Yes, I do. I have a question.
Oh boy. Late
Would
stage
we-
breaking question.
Would we take
This category's wild card. You can take anything.
well, I don't know. The way that you responded to Twin Peaks. Can I take Twin Peaks to the Return?
No,
That's what I asked for.
No.
Though.
Can I take Paddington 2? No.
absolutely not.
And just he said anything, so
I'm banging the gavel.
the gavel. Okay, just wanted to make sure. What about Black Mirror episodes?
I was going to bring this up when they got to me. I was thinking the same thing.
No. There is a very important
strict around here.
Well, so there's a very important reason I say no, because the title of the podcast is called the Movie Draft Podcast, not the Netflix television show draft podcast. No offense.
That's okay.
Didn't he let Beyonce's Lemonade slide last time?
Not too much.
That was different.
We talked as
that was different.
that was different because that's actually a movie. It's called a movie.
Yeah, I was also bullied into that, so just trying to stand my ground this time.
You're right. Let me
just to clarify what he just said. If he has proven by his own accord, bullying is a potential tactic to getting him to see to you.
Yeah, I did threaten him at the beginning, so maybe I, used up my good luck a little early.
Blew your load too soon, Des.
I don't like that. Can you rephrase? Say that differently.
I don't like that. It's really a great way to say that.
I don't like that. Okay, my wild card. 1 second.
Were you banking on the Black Mirror being allowed?
No.
Okay.
No. You guys should talk about things. You guys have any questions? I
think it's interesting to note. We've obviously talked about a lot of good movies. Some pretty bad movies came out in 2017. I talked about the output for the MCU. I feel like these aren't going to go draft in the next 4 rounds, so I think it's safe to say Justice League and Wonder Woman come out for the DCEU this year. Tough slate for that studio. Not ideal.
I don't know if anybody.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that or not. No, we do not.
You'd be fucking joking me.
Patty Jenkins. Whatever happened? I thought Patty Jenkins was supposed to do Star Wars Squadron, and then that got canceled.
Like every other Star Wars project.
Yeah, no, Star Wars Rogue Squadron. That's crazy.
Okay. I was between 2 movies, and I was like, okay, what I'll do is I'll just see what has the better Letterboxd average rating. The same one. I'm like, okay, well, maybe let's check Rotten Tomatoes. The same score. Are you fucking joking?
Oh my god.
IMDb.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you're right. Let's see. Okay.
Gotta differentiate somehow.
All right.
We have a winner.
But is it appropriate? They're both kind of weird. Fuck it. I'm gonna do Baby Driver. I have a soft spot for that movie. It is my guilty pleasure. It sucks that single person just it's like throwing out like a dartboard. It's like that meme of the Grim Reaper going to each door and just taking out the entire cast.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping Edgar Wright is not next because Scott Pilgrim is one of my favorite movies of all time. But Baby Driver is such a cool movie to me, and I love the high stakes energy of it. I love the soundtrack. I sing the B-A-B-Y baby song to myself sometimes, although I say no, it's not from the movie, but I'll start thinking of the movie. But yeah, I'm gonna take Baby Driver.
I think this is a fine pick. I think it's aged poorly, unfortunately, but I think Baby Driver did cool things like the action and the needle drops and having funny hot people before other franchises caught on. And I think that's the kind of the magic sauce there. Okay, good pick. That means I have a wild card pick. Oh, fascinating. Okay. Well. I'm going to be picking a movie that will just guarantee that I do not get any votes whatsoever. I'm going to be taking
Cars 3.
That would do it, wouldn't it? No, I'm going to be taking Steven Spielberg's The Post, a movie that I'm very fond of, actually, and I think is actually quite good. And a lot of other people think is just completely average, which is fine and fair. think it's an incredible cast. Meryl Streep, Tom Hanks, Sarah Paulson, Bob Odenkirk, Tracy Letts. U.S. presidents and information. Important thematic topics for what's going on in the world right now. So happy to have it on my team.
This was sort of my curiosity, is that there's a handful of Oscars movies from this year that we just really didn't even touch.
Haven't talked about it at all.
Yeah.
Which I find
the big
really
winners, really.
Yeah. And
truly.
And I'm almost tempted to dip my toe in that with the wild card just to get kind of a notable title from the year on my team. I'm very tempted. I've gone pretty much the entire time of like movies that I really love that definitely do have some resonance, particularly Lady Bird at the top of the board. So that definitely has in the back of my mind. I could go with this year's Best Picture winner. That's still on the table. It's not a movie that I love, but I like it. So I'm tempted to go in that direction. Although I do have another one sort of I'm honestly between those two. The other one is like, I think there'd be a cult group that would really go for it, and then a ton of people probably wouldn't have seen it, and I'm really torn on that. What do you think, Ethan?
I have zero input for you, Danny.
Okay, thank you.
I will say, in my search just before, I was going to pick a movie just because I saw Danny has seen it and given it like 4.5 or 5 stars, and I was like, let me throw it on the board, but I decided not to. Mm-hmm.
I think in the vein of your idea here, Danny, it's notable that we have drafted 6 out of the 10 Best Picture nominees. That's something. Just not the Best Picture winner. Arguably the most important one.
That's interesting because there were 9 Best Picture nominees.
Oh yeah, this was a sliding scale year before.
Really?
Honorable mention.
79. Oh yeah, interesting. Well, we've drafted 6 of 9 then. You could make it 7.
I could. Very much between Shape of Water and this film that I think I'm gonna go with. No, I'll do Shape of Water. I'm gonna do the Shape of Water. Best Picture winner for the year. I think it's good on this list. It's definitely not Guillermo del Toro's best in my opinion, but I think the reasons that people love it are very noteworthy. So I think it's an interesting Best Picture winner, coming from technically like the sci-fi territory. I think it's a really interesting kind of film to rise to that level. So yeah, I'll take Shape of Water, which is one that I wasn't sure if like we'd hit somebody on this draft who was like really passionate about it, because I think there are a lot of people out there who do have a lot of love for this film. But clearly we didn't, because it's the second to last film drafted.
That was one of the ones I was choosing between.
Okay. Double Best Picture nominees for Michael Stuhlbarg in The Shape of Water and Call Me by Your Name.
And The Post.
Oh my God, he was in 3. Look at our guy. Soon to be in After the Hunt, which is incredible stuff. Okay, Bryan, finish this out. You got a wild card pick.
Okay, I'm between 2 wild card picks. These are very much me picks. I recognize that neither of these will probably get votes. And like I said at the top, there was really only one film that I cared about getting, and that was Call Me by Your Name. So really, it doesn't matter what happens from here on out. But to continue with the very me picks, I'm going to go with a film that not many people have seen. It's a sequel, and I don't really know how people feel about this, because I really don't care how people feel about it, because I love it to death. And that is T2 Trainspotting from Danny Boyle. The original Trainspotting is top 20 favorite films of all time for me. When I heard that they were making a sequel, I'm like, that is the stupidest thing that you could possibly do. The movie is perfect on its own. And also, it's 20 years later. Who's even going to go watch a Trainspotting sequel? Well, I was one of those people who went to go see it. I remember there was nobody in the theater except for me. I went to my local art house theater up in Montclair, New Jersey. Shout out to Claridge. And I I don't know. Like there are movies that we simply don't need sequels to. And do I think we needed a sequel to Trainspotting? No, I don't think we needed it. But in the long run, I didn't realize how much that this movie was going to move me. And, it's a very interesting reflection on nostalgia and the past. And, 20 years later, and Ewan McGregor still looks like a snack. Just gotta say that. I just gotta point that out. Like that man has aged very beautifully. I have to point that out. Like he has looked better and better as the years have gone on. And I am, most people would say, "Oh, I'm jealous of Ewan McGregor that he's with Mary Elizabeth Winstead." No, I'm jealous that Mary Elizabeth Winstead gets to be with Ewan McGregor every single day. So, T2 Trainspotting. The definition of how to do a sequel many, many years after its predecessor. And Danny Boyle, in my opinion, one of the most underrated filmmakers that we have. I'm a big Danny Boyle fan. 28 years later, one of the best films of the year so far. Not that that's saying much, but it's a great film nonetheless. So, T2 Trainspotting will be my final pick for this draft.
Okay. Danny Boyle films, both that might get talked about next week on the pod with the Legacy sequels draft. We'll see if either of those get brought up. We've done it. We've completed the 2017 movie draft almost 2.5 hours later, which is substantially longer than I thought this would take us. So congratulations to all of you. You have mentally worn me down. And I can only imagine being on the East Coast because I am exhausted and it's 8:45 where I live. But we've done it. And I feel like this was a really fun draft with a lot of interesting results. And we learned something new about turtles, which I think is really important. We walked away with some beneficial scientific knowledge. Bryan, can you read us your team? And we'll go through everybody's team real fast.
Yes. For Oscar nom, I picked Call Me By Your Name. For box office, Logan. Action horror, Mother. Comedy, Logan Lucky. I just realized that I have 2 films in my list with the word Logan in the title. That was not intentional at all.
That's cool.
Drama, The Beguiled. And then wild card, T2 Trainspotting.
Nice. What about your team, Danny?
For comedy, I have Lady Bird. For Oscar nom, The Florida Project. For action horror, Raw. For drama, Columbus. For box office, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And for my wild card, The Shape of Water.
In Oscar nom, I picked Blade Runner 2049. In drama, I took Good Time. In comedy, I chose Ingrid Goes West. In action horror, I took Spider-Man Homecoming. In box office, I drafted War for the Planet of the Apes. And in wild card, I took The Post. Des, what about your team?
For Oscar nom, I took Get Out. For action horror, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Box office, Coco. Comedy, Girls Trip. Drama, A Ghost Story. And wild card, Baby Driver.
And Sophia, what was your team?
For Oscar nom, I have Phantom Thread. Box office, Dunkirk. Action horror, I have Okja. Comedy, The Big Sick. Drama, The Lost City of Z. And my wild card is Personal Shopper.
I do just want to end on the note, and I want people to remember, I gifted you Phantom Thread. I could have taken it from you, and I gave it to you.
You could have, but you didn't, which makes me a winner. Right?
I think,
True.
if anything, I gifted that.
Yeah,
movie
because we worked together on that one. Yeah, that's fair. Nonetheless,
yes.
we have completed successfully the 2017 movie draft here. I feel like all different teams and different vibes, which will be really interesting to see how the votes play out. Any honorable mentions that anybody wants to quickly shout out? I know we went pretty deep. We went 30 movies, which in a year like this is substantial.
I know that this movie's very divisive, but I'm pretty shocked that nobody, especially Ethan, I'm shocked that you didn't draft The Last Jedi. I'm very surprised you didn't draft that.
Yeah. I have recently drafted The Last Jedi on a number of drafts, and so I am just trying to not redraft the same things that I
constantly draft La La Land. What's your point?
Screaming.
Come on. One of them's a vote getter and the other one's not. Like, what do you want from me?
Listen, there are a lot of Last Jedi truthers out there. You do know that, right? But there's also a lot of haters, so I get it.
This is what I alluded to when I was doing box office. I was like, the top domestic grossing. I am a Last Jedi defender. I think it's the best of the sequel trilogy, right? Wide margin.
Made over $500 million in 2 weeks in 2017. Like it was a big deal. So it's a 5-star movie to me, and that's what matters the most. Any other honorable mentions? Stuff that didn't get talked about?
I have one, and it's the other film that I was debating for wild card. I know that's not amongst a favorite for this filmmaker, but I think the Meyerowitz Stories is a really great entry for Noah Baumbach. And anytime Adam Sandler does a serious role, I will absolutely highlight that. And I'm so excited for Jake Kelly. I need that injected in my veins now. Oscar nominee Sandler incoming, hopefully. But that's really my only honorable mention.
That's the movie that I was referring to when I was trying to decide comedy, where I said one of these movies, if I saw it on somebody's list, I'd be like, you know ball. And it's the Meyerowitz Stories, which is like really cool. Unfortunately, like not ideal for a draft like this. Anybody have anything else that you want to talk about?
I almost took that one. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
The one other Oscar nom that I thought about in wild card is an animated film called Loving Vincent.
Yes.
I really like that one. I think it's just a really beautiful, creative portrait of Van Gogh.
Yeah,
so I'd recommend that.
all of my honorable mentions, like everything that I was on the cusp of taking, is actually animated. It was Loving Vincent, Your Name, Makoto Shinkai. I was very, very close to taking. That was what I was between with that and Shape of Water. At the end, Brian, there was a moment where I almost called out you could do the funniest thing with your graphic right now and have Call Me by Your Name, Logan, Mother, Logan Lucky, Your Name. That was what I was hoping you would have on a graphic.
That would have been great. I do love Your Name, though. That's a great film.
Des, you had a few?
Yeah, I loved that movie, Happy Death Day. That one
film.
was a really that's a funny one to me. A comedy that I was toying with, other than Girls Trip, which it might not be for everyone, but I stand by it. Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle.
I am a defender of Welcome to the Jungle. I love those two Jumanji movies. I don't know why.
They're so good. I was surprised that no one picked I, Tonya.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a big movie for the year. I didn't see it, so can't say if it's really that good or not, but I feel like it's obviously a big movie for the year. And then the movie that I was talking about, Danny, that I saw that you gave a 4.5 or 5 stars, whatever, was You Were Never Really Here.
So this is one of my favorite movies ever, but it is a 2017 festival, 2018
theatrical. Okay.
There we go. Okay.
I came across this in my research and I was like, holy shit, like I gotta draft this. I'm a huge like Lynn Ramsey, everything Lynn Ramsey touches is gold in my eyes. But yeah, this is gonna have to hold on that one until Ethan schedules the 2018.
Let me make a note of that really quick.
Yeah. You gotta do a little prep.
Outed myself.
Too. You Were Never Really Here.
Yeah.
First Reformed.
Half my potential 2018 list has already been revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that we did not draft any of the top 3 highest domestically grossing films. That would be The Last Jedi that we mentioned, Beauty and the Beast, the live action. I was between that and War for the Planet of the Apes. I love Beauty and the Beast. I think it's like incredible.
Stinker.
And then, of course, Wonder Woman, which we don't really talk about here. Thor Ragnarok didn't get mentioned. That's like a fan favorite, which is interesting. I thought for sure Ragnarok would have been something in conversation here. And then a couple things that I think are worth noting. The Disaster Artist, another A24 movie here that we've talked about on recent shows and episodes. Jigsaw did come out for Saw. Unfortunately, it's like the very worst one that you could ever hope for. And then the 2 horror movies that I was alluding to earlier in the draft, one that I thought was too deep of a cut. It's an A24 movie. It Comes at Night, starring Joel Edgerton and Riley Keough. I think it's quite good, but just like nobody's seen it. And then the other one is The Blackcoat's Daughter, starring Kiernan Shipka from Osgood Perkins, that I actually think is good. Like, I think there's a lot of good stuff there. And then Osgood Perkins makes like Long Legs and the Monkey, and unfortunately just like they're not good movies. So that's tough.
Okay.
I actually like Long Legs. It's okay. But the Monkey is terrible. Okay.
The monkey.
Thanks, everybody. This was a great draft. Really fun. And I think that another mega draft in the bag is always a good thing. Always an accomplishment here on the Movie Draft Podcast. Massive thank you to all of you, Brian, Danny, Sophia, Des, for being here and drafting. Brian, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd at Bryan Sudfield. You can find my contributions over at The Rolling Tape, and you can subscribe to my podcast, Life Moves Pretty Fast, on any podcast platform. I have no idea when this episode comes out, but hopefully by the time it comes out, my episode with Dez will be dropping. We're talking about Aquila and the Bee, so be on the lookout for that. Great discussion, and I've had everyone else here on the pod as well, so listen to their episodes as well, and that's where you can find me.
Yeah, definitely. Exciting stuff. Danny, if people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me hosting our many times a week podcast at The Rolling Tape. You can go to www.therollingtape.com, see a lot of my contributions, as well as our very full team of very smart, very intelligent writers and podcasters. You can find me personally at DTJ Cinema on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and at Danny Jarabek on Blue Sky and Letterboxd.
What about you, Sophia? If people want to find you, where can they find you at?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Sophia_Sim, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd at Sophia Sim. You can find my podcast, Oscar Wilde, wherever you listen to podcasts. We do Oscar retrospectives and also cover the current season. We just had Kyle Buchanan on to talk about Mad Max Fury Road and his book in honor of the 10th anniversary of that film. And you can also find writing, reviews, interviews, and festival coverage for upcoming Telluride in Toronto at Awards Watch.
Super exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe we're working out the logistics of a live TIFF pod. We'll see if that comes to fruition for all people attending TIFF, which is a lot of people here on this show. Des, what about you? If people want to find more of you, where can they find you at?
Yes, you can find me on Letterboxd, Instagram, and Twitter at Movies with Des, and that's Des with an S. Or you can listen to me on my podcast called What's On Tonight, where I talk about recommendations just based on genres, themes, and vibes.
Yeah, highly recommend checking everybody out and following them. We will be back. This is kind of like an Avengers credit scene right here, where it's like the mega draft pod people will be back for the 2018 draft, whenever that does occur. Thank you to Ben and Sophie, as always, for helping create this pod and enjoying all of my shenanigans that they put up with. Be sure to listen and subscribe to the Movie Draft Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube with videos, so be sure to go subscribe to us over there. New episodes will be released weekly on Tuesdays. We'll see you then.